sports talk. My God, I loved it.
My name's Jay Milne. #Blue.
Our sports update deliverer, the Coon.
I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up today.
You know what, Reid?
You might be honest.
All right, here's what's going on in the Nasty Cup.
I can just feel the summer solstice in the air. I can feel it. You know how you can feel a storm coming? Or certain types of animals can feel a change in the weather? Or if you have arthritis, you can feel a weather change in your bones? I have the ability to sense the solstice. Like I woke up this morning and I was like, what? Well, hark! Because, I use the word hark a lot, when I feel something's going to happen. I woke up and I was like, oh, hark.
To yourself.
And I ran over to my calendar and I was like, okay, yeah, June 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm thinking to myself, it must be June 20th, 2025. And I was like, oh, hark. The solstice is upon us. We must capitalize. We must take in the daylight. We must absorb the daylight. We must celebrate the summer solstice. It is upon us. How are you doing, Jay?
Better now.
Are you excited for the summer solstice?
I've never been more excited for anything in my life.
It is today, right?
I certainly hope so.
Well, it's either today or tomorrow.
Our whole show depends on it.
Well, we don't have a show tomorrow, so we can talk about it today. Summer solstice.
No, it's tonight at 8
2025.
Something.
Yeah, 8:42. That's the exact day. This marks the longest day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere. Okay, so
how can it have a time associated to it?
Because it marks when the Earth's tilt positions it closest to the sun. So that's the exact moment we're closest to the sun is at 8:40. By we, I truly mean we, as in all of humanity.
So could you put
we are the closest to the sun.
Marshmallow on a stick and hold it up high and possibly roast it?
That's how they discovered the solstice.
Is that how they got it?
Yes.
And they're like,
so,
whoa!
Right.
It's burning!
Right. And you know how they got the name solstice?
Ooh.
The guy who was holding the marshmallow, his name was James Solstice.
Of course.
So he held the mushroom aloft and he looked upon it and he said, hark! This marshmallow is scorched by only the intensity of the sun. I held this marshmallow aloft yesterday, and nigh, it did not burn. But today, hark, it heats. We must be closer to the sun. And then some astronomers were like, yeah, actually we are.
I wonder what his friends were like. They're like, James is at it again.
Yeah, they thought he was into the moonshine. I mean, he was a moonshine dealer.
Maybe he actually was.
He was a moonshine dealer. So that's. But it is the summer solstice. We're going to have an off-topic topic related to the daylight. Now, of course, in this part of the world, the daylight is extensive. I told you I did that hit on some California. Well, I don't know where they were.
Right.
Because it was VSIN, and I'd been on that station before, and it was out of Las Vegas. And then I was on a different show, and they were talking about the Detroit Lions offensive line before I was on. And I thought that's pretty specific for a potentially national show or a Vegas show. And then it seemed as if one guy was in Detroit and one guy was in California. So this was early in the Stanley Cup final. So we already have a lot of daylight here. And the California guy was like, hey, buddy, guess how late it was light out yesterday? 8 p.m. And I'm thinking, but why are you bragging to the guy in Detroit? Because he's farther north and would be getting more daylight than you in California. So I don't know what was going on there. But we get a lot of daylight. I mean, certainly our buddy Doug Plagans, who does Panthers play-by-play. I know everybody, you probably hate everything associated with the Panthers lately. So we get a lot of hours of daylight. I mean, if you're somebody, I mean, Jay, you and I covering sports for a living, you ain't working no regular hours, right?
No.
But if you're somebody right now, I mean, I don't think it would be uncommon for a person to go to bed between 10 and 10:30 and get up between 6 and 6:30. If those are your current hours and you're sleeping relatively well through the night, you're not seeing darkness.
That's a great point.
The sunlight is always upon you. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. You know who the sunlight is not shining upon? The sunlight of victory? The Edmonton Elks. I was extremely disappointed and discouraged by last night's game. Extremely. On this show yesterday, I spoke of, I didn't save it. What are they? They have 5 home field wins in the last 4 years or something like that. They have not won their home opener since 2019. There was no season in 2020, obviously. And I said a large part of that stretch, I feel as if I've been sitting in the stands at Commonwealth Stadium watching, yes, an all-around bad team, but especially an offense that can't move the ball and doesn't score points. And a lot of times you're feeling halfway through the second quarter, well, there ain't no comeback today because they can't move the ball and they can't score. That is how I felt much of yesterday's game. Different quarterback, some different offensive players, different coach, GM, all that kind of stuff. And I thought, this is just another rerun. You're just not moving the ball. You're kicking to the other team who's very efficient. And hey, the Elks defense wasn't that special last night either. And I was just very discouraged all around because Montreal just took that game over, bled the Elks out. Quite frankly, Jay, and I know we'll talk about this a little bit later on, I was not at all encouraged by the points they got in the fourth quarter because the game was over by then.
It wasn't over. You, of all people, I would assume would know that the game ends when the clock says 0.
Sure.
That game was not over. That game was not over early in the fourth quarter. And yeah, I know we're going to talk about it, but they had chances to get back in the game. I mean, if Davis Alexander had stayed in the game as the quarterback, yes, that game's over. They were not coming back against that quarterback because he was moving the ball at will. MBT comes in, totally different offense, much more simplified offense, and the Elks had an opportunity. But I feel that there were some critical points in that game that were handled questionably that ultimately led to their demise. But I did not think the game was over.
Well, I did. I mean, I guess they got it to 28-14, and there was still a lot of time left.
That's exactly the moment where the game was not over.
And fair enough. If they would have kicked it deep and maybe got a stop, but a lot of things would have gone their way. We'll talk about that as we move along throughout the afternoon. Happy to hear from you, of course, on this Friday afternoon of the summer solstice. You can text us at 780-218-9999. That is the afternoon inbox provided by River Crew Resort and Casino, home of the Kitchen Restaurant. All you can eat surf and turf for just $59.99 every Friday. That is from 4 to 10 p.m. You can email reid@edmontonsportstalk.com, jay@edmontonsportstalk.com. We often get limericks sent to us. Let's get to an early one from Tube Socks.
Why not?
Reid and Jay by the bonfire's blaze sang their hearts out in midsummer haze. With laughter and song, they caroled all night long, setting sparks loose in solstice days.
Beautiful.
Pretty good. Yeah, what kind of makes it in a midsummer haze? Kind of makes it sound like we were smoking something around the bonfire. I guess it's the smoke of the bonfire itself.
Could be, amongst other smoke.
Sure.
I just want to paint a picture for everybody that's listening, watching, of what I'm looking at right there. Not Reid, not Reid's beautiful.
I ain't much to look at, everybody.
Face. I'm watching our coup, Matthew Awanek, eat watermelon on the rind with a fork and knife.
So he's cutting it off the rind?
Bite by bite. This is up there with somebody that eats a chocolate bar with a fork and knife. And they're cut into triangles. So you can take a triangle and eat it. That's what the rind is. That's the break between your hands getting sticky and wet. I'm appalled. What's going on? What world do we live in?
Well, it's the solstice.
Strange things
solstice
happen.
makes people act strange.
He's acting super strange.
Strange solstice occurrences. According to... I can't see very well today. Oh, that's the winter solstice. 10 weird and magical midsummer celebrations. Well, these aren't that interesting. Now I never saw the movie Midsummer, but is that not set at the summer solstice? Apparently it has quite a intense and somewhat bizarre and tragic ending. I believe. I saw the director's the same guy who did Hereditary, which I did see. Then he did, I think Midsummer was after that, or maybe, I can't remember which one was first and which one was second. But Hereditary has a bit of a bonkers, somewhat gory, somewhat creepy ending, I guess, somewhat unexpected. I think Midsummer is the same way. Caster 1990 says, I think Ryan Rashog eats chocolate bars with a fork and knife. You can post in the nasty chat.
Have you ever eaten watermelon with a fork and knife?
No, I have not. Not to my recollection.
Can you come here, please? Come here, please.
He doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, I know, because he doesn't want to acknowledge his psycho behavior. Yeah, that's what the rind's for, bruh. I don't know.
What stuff? Gager said he's bringing stuff in?
Yeah.
That sounds mysterious.
Well,
hey guys, I got the stuff in the trunk. By the way, if you're watching us on YouTube or if you're streaming us on YouTube today, give us a thumbs up, smash that like button. We want to get to at least 155, so we do a double word of the day at the end of the show. Or maybe if you're Dustin Nielsen, the imaginary word of the day.
Oh, boy.
Which was very bizarre earlier.
Well, Jen Cool asked earlier, like right off the top of the show, in the nasty chat, when did you guys use loquacious as a word of the day?
Never.
Reid and I both can honestly say that we've never used the word loquacious. I looked through every word, like I have history on my computer. I've never searched the word loquacious. Every other word shows up.
And if you gave me that one, I would immediately say that's one of the easiest ones ever. Well, I would have known that one, no problem. No problem at all. That would not have been a difficult word for me. So I don't know what show Dustin was watching, or if he hallucinated us doing that word, or if he was on one of his CFL trips. Maybe there's another city. Maybe in Hamilton they have the Reid Wilkins show on some afternoon station, and he was watching that last Friday when he was in Hamilton. I don't know. Could be. We're going to have extensive comments from Oilers general manager Stan Bowman as well, and plenty of discussion on that when we get to the Oil Understood a little bit later on in the show, presented by GCL Diesel. Let's get a Bowman clip in here now, commenting on where changes on the team will most likely come.
At our team, the area with probably the least amount of change will be the defense. I think that we have guys under contract. They played very well. I really liked the way our defense played this season. I think they did a good job. They grew as the season went on. I thought they were really important to where we were getting to the final. So I think there probably won't be big changes there. I think up front we need some different players. And we're going to look at everything, because I think now is the time when you have to look at your forwards, your D, and your goalies, and see how can we get better. And sometimes it's just an incremental difference where I wouldn't expect, wholesale changes. We're not going to have 9 or 10 new players, but I do think we are going to have some changes. So we'll have to look at, probably more likely the forwards and the goalies are the ones we're going to evaluate the most deeply.
All right. So we'll dive into that a little bit later on, and have plenty more audio from Stan Bowman. I just was looking on Twitter here, and we have a colleague, the guy in the morning, Trev? His Twitter handle is YouTube Trev. So, can you check on him, Coop? Can you just text him and say, how's it going, buddy? Because Trev posted about 10 minutes ago, tonight would have been Game 7 right here in Edmonton, crying face. It would have been, Trev. Sports is full of would haves and could haves. I don't know if he's watching the show, but he's dwelling on it, apparently. Hope he's okay.
Hugs to you, Trev. You're going to be all right, buddy.
I hope he's going to be okay. I don't know if he's listening to us. It may be too depressing for him to listen to us. Well, we have that effect on a lot of people.
Well, that's true. Now, Reid, here's something that came up in the nasty chat. C-Run said, Dusty woke up groggy and just started quoting Con Air to a confused Tammy.
Possible.
Con Air is one of Dusty's favorite movies.
Right.
The word loquacious is used in the movie Con Air.
Right.
Could he be confusing? You know, that's actually a compliment for us.
I think he thinks you're Nicolas Cage.
Yes. Maybe that's what it is. And you're John Cusack.
And yes. And who's Malkovich?
Coob.
The Coob is Malkovich.
There it is.
He is being John Malkovich.
We've cracked the case.
Steve Buscemi was in that. Ving Rhames, Cole Meany. Oh, he was. Wasn't Cole Meany O'Brien in Star Trek: The Next Generation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Even I know that.
Even you knew that.
He's got a very particularly look.
Was it O'Brien? Yeah, I think it was O'Brien. All right, 780-218-9999, River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. You can post in the nasty chat on YouTube. Remember to click the thumbs up button there as well. And that's where you can post your reaction to our off-topic topic for William Huff. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service, combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be, is what they call the William Huff advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com. Give them a shout, 780-454-4536. So, here's the deal. The summer solstice, I mean, depending on how you round it off, because if you go by the exact time of the sunrise and the sunset, there's actually more daylight than that, right? Because you get sunlight before it comes up. So Jay and I are saying, for the off-topic topic for William Huff, what is the best thing about having over 18 hours of daylight today? Wrong answers or silly answers only.
Yes. This has been going well this week with the wrong answers.
The Larry O'Brien trophy, you can still send in for that if you want. So a sub off-topic topic. So the Larry O'Brien trophy will be handed out on Sunday to the NBA championship team.
Twill.
But hark, the trophy approaches now. Remember when they used to, I don't think the current guy does it anymore. I think it was the previous guy who was
like Adam Silver?
No, I'm talking about, sorry, I'm going on a tangent off the tangent.
Okay.
Just bear with me.
Gotcha.
We'll remember where we started. The Masters presentation. So Jim Nantz is in Butler Cabin. Was there a guy named Hootie or something that was the head of Augusta National?
Yeah, something like that.
But they would do a quick interview, and Jim Nantz would, have a couple softballs like, well, the course was in great condition. It sure was, Jim. We're so proud of our superintendent, Marshall Blakeman, and the course just was a great test for these great golfers. And, and Jason Milne, a first-time champion shooting 8 under. Jason Milne, this is his 5th Masters champion, fifth try at the Masters. He finished 2nd last year. I'm so proud that he go over the hump this year. And then they would do that. Oh, I think I hear him coming now. And then the champion would walk in as if he just came to, oh, is this where I go? Of course, it's all staged, but they always try to make it seem so hokey, right?
Yes.
Because it's Augusta. It's all, so he would be talking about the champion. Like, oh, I think I hear him coming now. Really? You okay? Like, who buys that? It was so bad. I don't think they do it anymore, right? Didn't they used to do that? It'd be Jim Nantz and the guy, and he would be talking about him, and then, oh, I think I hear him coming now. I can't even do the accent over and over again. But the southeastern American accent. I think I hear him coming now. It's like as if the champion just was knocking on the Butler Cabin door. I heard something about a jacket. Anyway. So back to the other tangent. So I was saying yesterday that if you went up to a non-sports fan and said, hey, the Stanley Cup is going to be awarded tonight, to me that sounds sporty. That sounds like, oh, what league is that for?
Yeah.
If you went up to somebody who didn't know sports and said, hey, the Larry O'Brien trophy is being handed out tonight, we had a great submission yesterday. The doctor who performed the most vasectomies in the last year. Because I said it sounds like something an accountant would win. Most organized ledger, the winner of the Larry O'Brien Trophy, Jason Milne.
Well, what better, off-topic topic for the summer solstice than to choose your own adventure? Bonus points if you answer both.
Right.
Obviously.
So who is awarded the Larry O'Brien Trophy? Wrong answers only.
Yes.
And best thing about having over 18 hours of daylight today, wrong answers, silly answers only. Is that what we're going to do?
Yeah, like Big Uke. The day of the summer solstice is the best time to test out my new night vision goggles.
That's true. The summer solstice, the day you are safest from vampires. That'd be my reason.
Well, it's a great day to day drink.
Oh, that's a good point. You got a lot of time for that. Have you been doing that, Jay? You've had two hell of a long days. You did the football last night.
Yeah. Putting in a shift here.
You're becoming a real sports broadcaster.
A real
short
sports
turnaround.
Rat. Yeah.
You know what? It's time for a sports update with Zachary Kubish. I think I hear him coming now.
Oilers general manager Stan Bowman spoke this morning, mentioning that he expects to have some changes to the team, highlighting that goaltending and forwards will be evaluated the most. Meanwhile, 37-year-old Johnathan Toews is coming home to Winnipeg as he's set to sign a one-year deal worth $2 million base salary, $5 million in bonuses. And according to Sportsnet, Ilya Samsonov of the Golden Knights will hit the free market. While on the field, the Riders meet the Argos kickoff at 5:30 from BC. It's Jeremiah Mazzoli getting the start for the Lions tomorrow against the Bombers. Nathan Rourke suffering a core injury last week. Rourke will still dress for the game. Plus, the Jays and White Sox have their series opener. Spencer Turnbull, Toronto starter, first pitch at 5:07. And from Edmonton, the Riverhawks host the Apple Sox. Listen to the full game on any of EST's audio streams. Coverage starting just after 7. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc. Locally owned and operated since 93. They have doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, they got plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff today at Windsor Plywood Leduc. The Reid Wilkins Show rolls on once we get back from break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
Fridays just got a whole lot more fun. Spin the wheel at the banquet for your shot to win big and save on your bill. Spin, win, save. It's that easy. Details at thebanquetbar.com. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Summer in Edmonton means 3 things: warm weather, long nights, and plenty of sports. From the lake to the links, you can boost your summer fun with hundreds of casino games, live betting on your favorite sports teams, and access to popular lotteries. All in one app, anywhere in the province. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code YAG50 to claim a $50 free bet. That's promo code YAG50 for a $50 free bet on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Just like the boys of summer keep their gear in top shape, you can keep your stuff safe with Sentinel Storage.
Hit a home run with Sentinel Storage, official storage provider of the Toronto Blue Jays. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
Hello, solstice lovers. What's going on? Hope you're having a great afternoon. It's nice out, isn't it? It was nice out when I got to work a little afternoon.
It's ish.
Oh, it might could rain, I guess, looking at the forecast. But what do you do? What's for tomorrow? 17 and then 8. So not hot. But didn't we do the perfect summer temperature? Well, most people said low 20s.
Low 20s.
I think I said 18.
Yeah, I mean,
so this is my weekend.
17.
I'm going to get out there. I'm going to lie on my balcony and read a book.
Yeah.
Are you an outdoor book reader?
Well, no.
Are you a book reader at all?
No.
You ain't know that sissy book learning.
No, I honestly, I have read. There was a time in my life prior to kids that I read a lot of books.
Oh, good point.
But no, not now. We're usually just trying to scramble and play zone defense until the girls go to bed.
So, as you know, I started reading on my iPad about a year and a half ago.
Yes.
My eye issue has made reading a little uncomfortable. Oh, Trev just posted a crying face in the nasty chat as well. Trev, we love you, baby. Think of all the good things in your life.
Yeah, that's
Think
true.
of all the good things in your life, Trev. Hey, Trev, maybe. Trev asked me to go disc golfing. Maybe I'd have time to do it this weekend or Monday and Tuesday.
Oh, wow. Is that not
maybe I'd find time. Maybe I'd find time to do it. I'm off work Monday and Tuesday, burning some vacation time. Get the man off my back. This is Matthew. I'm going to read an email. Hi, Reid. Hope you're having a great day at work. Please be advised you must book your vacation time.
Yeah, this is
all the best, Matthew.
Well, I don't come from the public sector. This is my first public sector job ever.
And you were running your company, so
is this normal?
Somewhat.
This kind of push to say you must. We should write a click song for that. Must you book your holiday?
I got to do the thumbs up song because some people can't function. Speaking of Trev not being able to function with the Oilers hockey, some people can't function without this.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
All right. So speaking of that song, we try and keep track of what tangents we have to get back to the main topic. I was talking to Cam Moon today. Great guy. Oilers Radio Network. And he listens to this show. Because I know I've gotten texts from him when he's been on the road and be like, hey, good stuff, guys, or I'm going to the rink now. Thanks for keeping me informed and entertained. And so I was talking to him after the Bowman availability today. And he said, say hi to Jay, because you guys met and are in love.
Yes.
Immediately in love.
Love at first sight.
And then he goes, and hey, click, click, click. And I was like, oh, you've caught up on that. And Mooner says, so I'm not a YouTube audience. He's streaming. And he said, I couldn't figure out for the longest time how you said it the exact same way every single time. He said, like, you'd start doing it, and he was, okay, I got to pick up some difference in his voice or little inflection or timing. And then he's like, and Jay's laughing at the exact same. Then he goes, then I realized it was recorded. But we've had a couple other people say that to us as well. But anyway, that's our little thumb click song that I did, spur of the moment. Well, a few months ago now, reminding you to give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Hey, pretty good. We're at 50 already.
Not bad.
Half an hour into the show. Don't be a pleasure delayer if you haven't given us a thumb up already. Click and do it. So I became a digital reader. I've read a couple physical books. But since my eye injury, I haven't read a book. I just find it harder to. I guess that wasn't an eye injury. I didn't it just happened. I wasn't punched or
an eye ailment.
I didn't fall off a ladder.
No, thankfully.
Reid, you fell off a ladder. Did you break a rib? No, just detached retina. That's all. So I did take a book out of the library digitally a couple days ago, and I read the first chapter, but I still just find it a little hard to focus, but I'll probably get through it. But this, I can't remember how I found out about it. It's a series called The Dresden Files, and it's a wizard named Harry Dresden who lives in modern day Chicago and solves paranormal crimes. I think it started in 2002 or something like that, and I think they're up to 17 books. I don't know if maybe it's done. It's called The Dresden Files. So if anybody has read The Dresden Files, give me your reaction. If I should stick with it, how many I should read. But yeah.
Wasn't there another Dresden? Frank Dresden? Is that
Frank Drebin is from
Drebin
The Naked
from
Gun,
Naked Gun.
which has been remade with Liam Neeson. But when I saw there was something called the Dresden Files, I thought it was a World War II story because wasn't Dresden one of the cities that was getting bombed or something like that? But it's about a wizard in modern day Chicago. So if you know about the Dresden Files, send me a note or a quick review of it.
So that's written by Jim Butcher.
Yes.
Huh. Well,
JT Shark says it was a TV show as well. Okay, I didn't know that one. C Run says Dresden Files is one of the top fantasy series. Gets great reviews. Okay, this is good. So I'll definitely read the first book. Might take me. I might not be able to read as much in a single session. Well, I got some days off here. I'll try to read it by the time we're back on Wednesday. Watch, I'll come back and I'll be like, yeah, I don't even remember what I was talking about.
or you'll come back and you'll have an eye patch on. Because the injury from reading.
Because I'll be reading too enthusiastically. All right, 780-218-9999 in the Nasty Chat. Our off-topic topics. Best thing about having 18 hours plus of daylight. What is the Larry O'Brien Trophy given out for? Wrong answers only for both. Jared, the Larry O'Brien Trophy is handed out to the last Irishman standing on St. Patrick's Day. C Run, the solstice sounds like a day to celebrate flat Earth, or fat Earth, maybe.
Could be.
Larry O'Brien sounds like the trophy awarded to the winner of the Microsoft Excel spreadsheet champion.
That's pretty good.
It does sound like that.
That is pretty good. Bronco Nick, true story, guys. My wife booked a geodesic dome last June 30th so we could sleep under the stars and do some stargazing. He says she was sleeping by 10:30 and I couldn't see much until 2 a.m.
That's amazing.
Love my wife.
That's a great way to spend the solstice. Yeah, I guess this wouldn't be a good time of year for astronomy, would it? You've got a very limited window to try to see if Mars is in full repose. or whatever they call it. All right.
It's a goofy day.
Who?
It's been a goofy day.
Yeah, it's a little weird feeling day.
Maybe that's the solstice vibes.
Terry M. So Terry M. in the Nest said, happy birthday, Jaws, 50th year. Wow. Goob, can you confirm if Jaws was released 50 years ago today? I thought Jaws was 1976. Maybe it was 75. So Jaws and Star Wars were two. Well, I think Jaws was the first sort of summer blockbuster.
Yeah, that's right.
Goob,
June
go.
20th, 1975.
Jaws came out 50 years ago today.
Today.
Wow. Okay, so Jaws changed the way. So now when we talk about summer blockbusters, Jaws changed that because they used to just release, movies used to just be released when they were finished. Well, I guess there would have been some marketing probably, but it's like, hey, Reid and Jay just finished their film. It's June 20th. Okay, we should have it out by September 5th? Sure. But then Jaws did so well in the summer that then they thought, okay, let's get these bigger action or exciting movies out in the summer.
Really?
Yes, and Jaws, I believe that's mainly because of Jaws, and then I think Star Wars in 1977 carried on with that.
Okay. Is it fair to say we're into the summer shows?
Well, it is the solstice. I mean,
so
you can't deny that it's
game
summer.
on.
It's game on for the summer, baby.
Is the Jaws movie poster not one of the most iconic movie posters ever made?
Yes. How could it not be?
How could it not be?
I'm sure most people are picturing it right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what else could you do that for?
Iconic movie posters. That's a good one.
Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, that might be up there. But for everybody?
Star Wars.
Yeah, I guess with
Star Wars.
They had kind of all the different people in
but
the front.
I think there were multiple posters for that one.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
Silence of the Lambs.
I don't even remember the poster, Coop. I don't remember
Really?
that. Oh, right. That one. Yeah.
Yep.
The moth. I think it was a moth.
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones. Well,
I got to
lettering,
think about that one.
the font
right.
used in Indiana Jones.
You know what bugs me is that now Raiders of the Lost Ark is sometimes called Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's not the name of the movie.
Ah.
The movies are Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones, and The Last Crusade, and then the other two. It was not called Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. It was called Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Pulp Fiction's got to be up there, right?
Pulp Fiction.
E.T.
I don't remember the E.T. poster. Was it him jumping over the moon?
Yeah.
Or with the silhouette of the moon?
Jurassic Park.
I'm trying to
Just
think of cover boxes. I'm trying to think of cover
T-Rex,
boxes.
right? Yeah, you should know. This is in your wheelhouse.
I know, and I used to hang movie posters at Blockbuster too. But Jaws is just that whole image, right? Because just everybody thinking of it's the female swimmer with the shark nose and mouth coming up to grab her, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump?
Forrest Gump, is it him on the bench?
Yeah. Not
Yeah.
as iconic, though.
I don't think that Jaws would have any strong competition in this.
Oh, Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, that's true. That's the triangle, and he's holding the blade. Yeah.
2001 Space Odyssey?
Is
Kaleidoscope, I think it was.
Is it?
Something like that, yeah. Or one of the tunnels in the spaceship.
Okay.
Batman.
Well, just the bat. I guess that's pretty easy to.
Right.
Well, this is a good one too. Well, now we have 3 off-topic topics. That's what we're going to do. The Shining. Because isn't that him busting through the door? Here's Johnny.
The usual suspects one's always good.
They're
Where
standing in line. Yeah. I'm telling you, it's Kaiser Soze. So this is 50 years ago today. Jaws was released in theaters. So how old was Spielberg? Early 30s? Look up Spielberg's age, please, Coop. I think he's in his 80s.
E.T. is when they're touching fingers.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
See, well, some movies have multiple posters, right?
I suppose. Here's the top 5 ranked by Empire Online.
Okay, which is a pretty good website.
Jaws, Raiders of the Lost Ark,
Okay.
Star Wars, E.T., Vertigo, Alien,
Oh, the egg.
Jurassic Park,
Yeah.
Silence of the Lambs, American Beauty. You remember that?
Is that her covered in roses?
Well, there's one rose.
What was her name? Mina Suvari?
Annette Bening.
That's Annette Bening? I thought it was the younger woman. Anyway.
Back to the Future.
But that's where they're standing out of the side of the car and he's looking at his watch. Spielberg is 78, so he would have been 28 when Jaws came out. Yeah. What had we done by the... Kubi got 2 years to do something. No, you're only 21. 22. Yeah.
21. I got some time.
When's your birthday?
You got to make something as good as Jaws.
29th of October.
Is it?
And yours
Yes,
is
and you're putting
October
the
7th,
7th,
right? Yeah.
I think I've already put it in my phone.
Yeah, I've put Coop's birthday in my phone for sure. Oh my goodness, this is too much fun today. Jared says, Reid, I still can't believe you don't have a Letterboxd account considering how much movie talk goes on. Did we set one up that one day?
No, you need to.
I'm a sad man. Duck Dad says, you know what's really annoying? Driving along and hearing Must You Click song and knowing you've been delaying gratification and now all you want to do is smash that thumb. Well, once you're parked, you can do it. Like we say do it now, but we understand we mean do it as soon as you can. We are doing well. We got 67 thumbs. We're almost halfway to our goal already, which is pretty good.
Blair sent in. He took a picture of his wall. He's got the Pulp Fiction movie poster on his wall.
So is that Uma Thurman kind of lying on her stomach? Yes, that's the one. Okay. I guess I don't remember. Posters as well as I think.
Godfather is getting a lot of run.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good one.
And 2 people have said this now. We have listeners from all across, Western Canada and really globally.
Yeah, really the world.
Andrea from Calgary says the best thing about the summer solstice today is the rainfall warning for Calgary that's on right now.
Okay.
Shanzi says it's pouring rain in Sherwood Park. Huh.
It's raining in Sherwood Park right now?
Right now.
Oh, you live near Sherwood Park.
Just outside of it.
You could be getting rain at your home.
I could have been.
Coop the Cork, it could be getting rained on.
No.
Okay.
No.
He's got an umbrella.
We don't allow that. Matt at the Garrison said the summer solstice, the day my kids sleep the least.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Well, it's a weekend, so that's fine. Okay. This is fun. Oh, the Exorcist poster. To me, that would be right up there.
Is that where
he's under the light?
Okay.
He's under the light looking up at the house, I believe, right?
Oh, yes.
Yes. I think that would
that
be
long staircase.
Okay, my top 3 from the ones that came up: Jaws, Alien, and The Exorcist. Those would be pretty recognizable.
I'd go Jaws, Godfather, Jurassic Park.
Okay.
It does age me, or tell my age.
Yeah, the Back to the Future one is pretty memorable as well. All right, we're going to get into our afternoon debate. We have Jay's Play of the Day coming up. We have plenty of audio from Stan Bowman, who spoke today. Our buddy Jamie Thomas out of Winnipeg will check in a little bit later on. The Jets have signed Johnathan Toews. We are coming to you from the Banquet Studio. Mondays at the Banquet Bowl for just $2 all day. Grab your friends, have fun, and start your week right. Get real. Play hard. The Banquet. Coob, you go now.
Edmonton's general manager Stan Bowman answered some media questions this morning, highlighting that the team will evaluate its goaltending and forward group, saying that, quote, the defense will have the least number of changes. From Winnipeg, Johnathan Toews is set to come back to the NHL. He's set to sign with the Jets on a one-year deal. Toews hasn't seen an NHL game since 2023, with the 37-year-old getting $2 million base salary, $5 million in bonuses. CFL action sees Saskatchewan visiting Toronto. Kickoff at 5:30 for the Lions. It's Nathan Rourke out tomorrow against the Bombers. Head coach Buck Pierce saying that Rourke's, quote, going to dress, but we're going to play. Jeremiah Mazzoli. In Toronto, the Jays and White Sox go head-to-head, their series opener. Spencer Turnbull gets the ball for the Jays with the game starting just after 5. And the Riverhawks also play taking on the Apple Sox. Tune into the game on any of EST's audio streams. Action going at 7:05. This sports update is brought to you by Advantage Sports Medicine. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists, and you're stuck with a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game. Call them at 780-460-9977, or you can visit their website at advantagesportmed.ca to book an appointment today. Oilers discussion is what brings us back on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
The oil stream.
Skinner was just supposed to be taking over.
Good reminder.
Like, Skinner being thrown to the Wolves is just a failure of management to epic proportions. The plan would have been for him to play, 25, 30 games a year, and Campbell plays 50. Instead, you had to thrust him into this spotlight, probably ahead of schedule, and now you're on the verge of possibly ruining him because of your incompetency and finding the guy that's supposed to help him.
The oil stream, presented by Boston Pizza. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons at noon. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Do you have pets? Horses? Chickens? Did the place you used to get your feed recently close down? Have no fear. Clover Bar Feeds is here. Whether it's dogs, cats, horses, or chickens, Clover Bar Feeds has you covered. Offering a large variety of food and feed, you can trust the experts at Clover Bar Feeds. They've been family owned and operated for over 60 years. This means you can expect nothing less than top-notch service and selection. Come visit them at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park, or visit them online at cloverbarfeeds.com.
Everyone knows when you need a truck now, you call Dawn.
That's right. You call us, Frontier Cartage, when you need driver coverage or have a truck that's down.
You call Dawn from Frontier Cartage.
When you've got way more freight to move than you thought.
You call Dawn from Frontier Cartage.
When you need a truck that's available and ready to start anytime you need.
You call Dawn at Frontier Cartage, 587-222-5826. 587-222-5826.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
Believe in me. Believe in me. The dreams that I foresee. Believe in me. Yeah.
What's it like having your own music bringing you back on your own talk show? That's pretty cool, eh?
Yeah. What a world.
Is that Believe in Me by North Shore?
I believe it is.
Pretty good track. Thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. Hope you're having as much fun as we are on this Friday afternoon going into the weekend. Hey, I know some of you got to work on the weekend. Maybe some people still got to work tonight. I'm always sensitive to that because not everybody works, Monday to Friday. So we just hope you're doing great. We are honored that you choose to spend some time with us. And if we make you smile or we give you some information that makes you think, that's all cool. Or if this makes you go into a closet tonight. And didn't I have some movie posters in university? What did I have? I used to have when I was in my 20s, I had movie posters, several movie posters on my wall.
What'd you do with them?
I think they're rolled up somewhere, probably stashed away. I don't think I got rid of all of them.
You know what?
I think I might have some of them.
Maybe we could prominently display them in the new boardroom at the new EST HQ.
Yeah, if I could find someone there in decent shape, that would be fun to hang a couple up. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, you and I could go over to Michael's and get some frames.
We could get them framed. We could frame them up.
Ooh, what a day.
And then when people walked into the office, they'd be, oh, hark, a movie poster upon the wall. It's funny. Okay, every day on the show, we bring you this.
It's Jay, it's play, he's Jay, it's today. It's Jay's play of the day. It's Jay's play of the day. Jay's play of the day.
Presented by Play Alberta. Make your bets count for you and everyone else with the Play Alberta app with hundreds of player prop bets on the biggest leagues, NFL, CFL, NHL, NBA, MLB, you name it. You're not just playing for fun, you're supporting your province. Play Alberta revenue helps fund Alberta programs and services. Deposit today with promo code YEG50 and get an exclusive $50 free bet to get started. All right, Mr. Milne.
Well, we had a good one last night. I'll start with that. Jay's play of the day last night was Justin Rankin over 75 yards.
I was skeptical.
You were skeptical, Reid.
But he got there.
And what did he end up rushing for, Reid?
76 yards.
Wow. We got that one by the hair on our chinny chin.
Well, that's good.
But that was a +2 victory. So congrats to those that rode. I know Tube Socks was on with that one. So thank you, sir. So today we're going to stay in the CFL. We're going to see if we can go back-to-back CFL picks. So I sent this over to the good people at Play Alberta. It is up. If you go to playalberta.ca, click on EST Specials. Jay's play of the day, Saskatchewan Roughriders to win by 5 or more points, and Trevor Harris to pass for 250 or more yards.
Okay.
That is +120 over at Play Alberta. So if you put $10 in, you'll return 22.
Okay. Sask at Toronto tonight.
Sask at Toronto. Toronto is very, very riddled with injury.
Right.
Nick Arbuckle's, I believe Nick Arbuckle's starting still. Not a refined quarterback. Trevor Harris and the Saskatchewan Roughrider should have their way with this team. Now, I was talking to Lieutenant Eric, a noted Saskatchewan Roughriders fan earlier, and he says,
he is.
Yes, I like it, Jay, but these are the moments when Saskatchewan Roughriders fans know they have the ability to fall flat on their face as well. So it's up to you. You can ride with Jay. You can fade Jay. It's your call. But if you want to, head over to playalberta.ca, click on EST Specials, Jay's play of the day, and don't forget, use your game sense.
So Ottawa, Toronto, Hamilton, all 0-2. So Edmonton's already played. Hamilton has the bye, right? There could be 4 winless teams still after this weekend. Now, 2 of them would have had byes. So Edmonton's already guaranteed 0-2. Hamilton's already guaranteed 0-2 because they're not playing. If Toronto loses at home to Saskatchewan and Ottawa loses in Calgary, 4 out of the 9 teams will still be looking for a win after week 3.
And I would be erring on the side of that happening. 4 0-4 teams.
Yeah, probably. Okay.
So it's not that bad. Being the Elks at 0-2.
Well, let's dive into that. We have the afternoon debate for Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf Club. Fall in, golfers. Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf Club, open to the public. Membership still available. Join the ranks today and experience top-tier golf with a proud military tradition. For more info, visit egmgolf.com. Also, thanks to Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf Club for sponsoring Reid's Read during the course of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yes,
I hopped on every
fantastic.
post-game show with Tom and Hernan and joined them for some discussion as well, courtesy Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf Club. So the Elks lose 38-28. Jay, look, I was sitting there watching that game, and I found it extremely frustrating because I talked yesterday on the show. I mean, the Elks have not been a good team for 4 years. You know, to be fair, they were kind of a mediocre team, probably in 18 and 19 when Jason Moss was the coach. They'd made the playoffs one year, didn't one of the other years. They had the extensive home losing streak. They rarely win at home. I know. I guess you could say they rarely win anywhere. But I was just watching that game and just thinking, here we go again. An offense that can't move the ball. A quarterback who we're all still hopeful for, but with questionable ability. A defense that looked promising after the first week that can't certainly take away the big play through the air and didn't appear to take away a lot. I guess if I had to say something positive, the kicker made both his kicks and his extra points after not kicking well. Blanchard after not place kicking well. And then the special teams kick coverage and return game seems at least okay, at least a saw-off. But I think the score flatters the Elks. I think Montreal was in complete control. The Elks couldn't drive the ball. Yes, they made it maybe very mildly interesting in the fourth quarter with a couple of touchdowns. But Jay, I was watching that game yesterday and I was thinking to myself, who do they beat? They were not close to the Montreal Alouettes. For the most part, they were not close to the BC Lions. This is what I'm throwing out there.
Yep.
Now, maybe those are the two best teams in the league. They might be. But still, the best teams in the league still lose sometimes and are challenged. And I didn't feel, for the last 6 quarters anyway, maybe the first half against BC, they were okay. They did have the lead. But I was watching that game last night and thinking, how can I believe this team is going to challenge for a playoff spot? Because to me, they don't look like they can win a game, Jay. I hate to put it that bluntly, but I'm watching that Elks team last night, and I'm like, how do they even win one game? Forget about playoffs or home playoffs or Grey Cup.
They tightened things up. They fixed the mental errors. They had mental errors all over that game. I mean, look, they come out on the first drive, have a great first drive, run the ball, pass the ball, kick a field goal, up 3-0. That's great. Get on the board. And then the defense comes on. There's 3 second and longs by Montreal in the second drive. Touchdown, Montreal. The Elks couldn't get off the field in the first half. And look at this. This is the stats from the first half. Davis Alexander was 15 of 18 for 210 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yes.
They were 7 of 10 on second down conversions. The Elks, 4 of 11. Trey was 8 of 11 for 49 yards and 1 interception. If Davis Alexander doesn't get hurt, this game gets ugly. Ugly. But here's the deal. He did get hurt. Seems to be something with his hamstring. In comes MBT. The Elks get a little bit of momentum. Next thing you know, they score. It's 28-14 with 13 minutes and 45 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Then the short kick. The short kick that ultimately didn't go their way. Now, I understand why you might want to do that, but I think the negative effect on the momentum outweighs the positive effect on the momentum. Kick it deep. Have your defense force them 2 and out. Get the ball back. You were down by 2 scores at that point. I really feel that negatively hurt this team. I mean, if you want to talk about individuals, I thought Devondrick Bynum had a rough go. He got beat twice deep, 1 to Rambo, and then that touchdown to Snead where he was wide open.
Yeah.
That's Bynum on both of those. Zach Mathis, a 6'7" receiver who can't jump and attack a ball in the end zone to get a score before halftime. That would have made the game 24-13 heading into halftime. Who knows what happens?
But that's not an overly close game, Jay.
Reid, it's
we're
close.
talking.
It's a momentum shift. It's a momentum shift. I mean, that's what I mean about mental mistakes throughout this game. This team cannot overcome that. They're not good enough to. So when you have opportunities, you have to capitalize on them. And I appreciate what you said about that ball. We all know the play. Trey Ford bounces out of the pocket, flings it deep to Zach Mathis. Could have he put that further back into the corner of the end zone? Absolutely. Yes. Thought he was maybe more open than he was and just floated it up to him. Now, Zach Mathis could have helped his buddy and roommate in quarterback out by attacking the ball and getting it at its highest point, but he didn't feel he needed to do so. That's just a mental mistake on both parts. So I'm not counting them out. I will not do that, but I understand why you would think that maybe this team might not win a game this year.
Well, and I know they probably will. It's just discouraging because it feels a little bit of the same thing over and over again. And I realize the hype around Trey Ford, and I realize his exciting plays. I'm going to say this, everybody. When Trey Ford makes an exciting play, it's usually against a crappy defense or in the fourth quarter when they're losing by a lot. It's that simple. Last year against Hamilton, game was already over when he came in. He hit a couple. Okay, and I'm not saying why were they not throwing long earlier in the game?
That's a question.
And now I guess maybe they're trying to establish something and then maybe set Montreal up for something, because you could see what Montreal was doing in the play action on the first drive, right?
Yeah.
But I just found, okay, all right, Elks got a field goal. Okay, Montreal got a touchdown. It's one possession each, and then it's just like, oh no, they can't move the ball. Oh, here comes Montreal again. Terry says, I actually thought the Elks brought in good players during free agency. That's what I'm a little bit surprised about. The D-line was supposed to be legit good. Is it?
I mean, did they get home last night? No. They had one sack, and they had one tackle for a loss. But no, not what you would expect from a defensive line that was together last year in Toronto. Now they've come out west to Edmonton. You'd think they would have hit the ground running. And look on the other side of the ball at the offensive line. They're not doing much better. Now, that being said, and when I say not much better, they're not doing much better in zone blitz pickup and protecting their quarterback and offering him a pocket. Now, I understand, folks. I'm not saying that there's never a pocket. And I understand that, yes, Trey likes to evacuate that pocket. Probably a little too early, at least for my liking.
Right.
But, okay, here's what I will say. Can you say that was an improvement on the week one performance you saw from this team?
No.
Why? Maybe not defensively. Offensively, you have to. They rushed the ball for 117 yards between Javon Leake and Justin Rankin.
Okay, yeah, the running game was better. The defense was not.
Vincent Blanchard was perfect.
He kicked better, yes.
The return game.
The kick coverage and the return fine is they're at least equal with the other team.
So there's two facets of the game that were ultimately better. One that was the same in the defense.
But you're getting blown out after the third quarter. Like, the game was over after the third quarter. I don't care that they only lost by 10. Deskra says, do the Elks not get like 4 to 5 games of a grace period with how many changes were made? That crossed my mind. New coach, a lot of new players, new general manager. They're trying to have a new attitude. I get that. And I get that it's a long CFL season, and there are teams that have started 2-3, 1-4 that have come back. I know everybody talks about the 2011 Lions that won the Grey Cup. Probably a bit of an outlier, but you can recover from a bad start. I'm just saying this is all I've seen in the last 5 years is bad start after bad start, trying to make up ground, making mistakes, having major deficiencies. And again, well, I guess last year they were losing on the last play. I put that sarcastically on Twitter. This makes me long for the glory days of last year when they lost on the last play, which I think were games 3, 4, and 5 of the losses at the start of the season. I guess maybe I expected too much. I mean, sure, maybe they're going to improve and maybe they're going to gel, but other teams are going to be doing the same thing. And to me, the biggest drawback is the offense, that you just can't take the ball down and score.
Well, Trey's got a lot of pressure on him.
Until it's too late.
Trey's got a lot of pressure on him, because right now the we want Trey Ford crowd is not as loud as they were last year. Well, guess what?
No, he's got the job now. He's got the job. This is no more backup quarterback being the most popular guy. He's the guy,
and he's not looking good.
You
like this one, Reid? Yesterday, this is from Penner's Pancakes. Yesterday's game was like a 6-1 game going into the third, and it ends 6-4. Entertaining, but in actuality, not close.
Yeah, a little bit like that. I want them to do well. I really do. As I said, it's a different angle for me to talk about it than some other teams in town, because I am a season ticket holder on top of being a broadcaster and a host who talks about them. But I'm just saying the first 2 weeks are feeling like the same movie I've seen in previous years.
Okay.
So it's getting harder to sell me hope here.
When Matt and I went through the season when the schedule was released, we both said that they could start the season 0-3, no problem. But we both still predicted and projected them to have 10-plus wins. This is a bit of a tough start. BC, Montreal, then they're going out to Winnipeg. That's not an easy start.
No, I get that. And maybe Hamilton's actually no good. Maybe Ottawa's actually no good. Maybe Calgary is not actually that good. Maybe they've beaten a couple of bad teams. So I get it.
I just want to see week over week improvement. I mean, you said it here. There could be 4 teams in the CFL out of the 9 that are 0-2.
Or 0-3.
Or 0-3. I mean, there is a gap. So they're going to face some of those teams eventually.
All right, the afternoon debate presented by Edmonton Garrison Memorial
Golf Club.
That was a debate? I think so. Well, we talked. It was good. We got plenty of clips from Stan Bowman. Jamie Thomas is going to join us as well, buying or selling for Damon Bunting. Fired up for Gemco as we move through the afternoon. Remember, if you're taking us in on YouTube, if you haven't already, click that thumbs up. We want to get to 155 thumbs. We are on pace to do that, but don't delay. Share the show link with somebody else. Spread the word about EST. Tell them to subscribe to Edmonton Sports Talk on YouTube. Like the show today, and you can make the station a favorite or a preference or whatever on iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio. Follow all the shows to get the podcasts. A lot of ways to take us in. All right, we're back after the 4 o'clock break.
The Lock Shop.
Yeah, hey, we are going to go to the new home of Johnathan Toews as he comes home to Winnipeg. Let's bring in Huff from Winnipeg Sports Talk.
I mean, this is huge, man. This guy's going straight into the Hall of Fame day one that he's able to be in. He's the most successful, decorated player that Winnipeg has ever produced. In my opinion, there's zero chance that Johnathan Toews is coming back if he doesn't think that he can be an impactful player and help a team win.
The Lock Shop, weekday mornings at 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
If you aren't wearing a Connect belt, what are you waiting for? A one-size-fits-all belt with a smooth, hole-free track system makes it adjustable for the perfect fit. With fully customizable options, you can choose your belt color, material, and buckle to suit your style. 100% Canadian-owned and operated, Connect belts are designed for work, everyday wear, and even a round of golf. Check out the large selection of men's and women's styles at www.knktbelts.com. Connect belts, the perfect fit every time.
River Cree Resort and Casino proudly presents Ian Munsick. July 5th, live in the venue. Country fans, you don't want to miss an evening with Ian Munsick, a stampeding, spirited celebration of romance, ranch life, family, and forever young fun. Tickets on sale now at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Sunday through Thursday, 9 p.m. to close, head to the Banquet and dive into banquet burgers, sushi tacos, nachos, and more. Late night bites, big flavors, and epic deals. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
Oilers general manager Stan Bowman had one last press conference to wrap up the season. Bowman touching on Connor McDavid's possible extension, saying that, quote, whenever he's ready, we're going to dive into that. Bowman also added that the defense will have the least number of changes, also highlighting that the team will explore possible goaltending adjustments. The lone CFL game has the Riders and Argos clashing at 5:30, while from BC, Jeremiah Mazzoli is starting tomorrow for the Lions with Nathan Rourke out due to a core injury he suffered last week. Rourke will still dress for the game. And baseball has Toronto hosting Chicago. The Jays give Spencer Turnbull the ball while the White Sox name Grant Taylor their starter. Action gets going at 5:07. Other games have the Angels and Astros meet. The Brewers taking on the Twins while the Dodgers play the Nationals. Well, back in Edmonton, the Riverhawks host the Apple Sox just after 7. Edmonton being shut out by the Bells 7-zip last night. Listen to the entire game on any of EST's audio streams. Check out the full schedule at edmontonsportstalk.com. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The second hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
Happy Summer Solstice Friday, everybody. Along with Jason Milne, I'm Reid Wilkins. Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports, presented by Play Alberta. Remember to go to playalberta.ca or use the Play Alberta app to check out the EST specials, including Jay's Play of the Day, which is related to the Riders Argos game coming up at 5:30 this afternoon. We'll be able to watch some of it together on the ESTV. Well, that's going to be fun. That's going to be amazing stuff. What happened?
Oh, it's summer solstice.
Applause for the summer solstice.
Do you not think she deserves that?
She?
I don't know.
That's funny. Our off-topic topic for William Huff. What's the best thing about having over 18 hours of daylight? Wrong and or silly answers only. And our secondary off-topic topic is wrong answers only. Who gets presented the Larry O'Brien Trophy? And our tertiary off-topic topic is best movie poster, most iconic movie poster of all time.
Movie posters are popping off.
Are they really?
Yeah.
What do we have?
Collingwood Rob says he has a poster of Jacqueline Bisset from the movie Deep.
Deep?
Deep.
I don't know that one. I'll look it up.
Mike from Calgary. He has a Spider-Man poster.
Oh, that one. That's a good one, yeah.
From the original Spider-Man. Who was the actor?
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
But they changed it for obvious reasons. If you look in the reflection of Spidey's eyes in the original movie poster,
yeah,
you see the Twin Towers. And they had to change that.
Well, because remember the original trailer for that? The teaser had him with a giant web between the Twin Towers with like the criminals that are the vehicle in it or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, and then they had to stop using that for obvious reasons. Interesting.
Ian says you could pretty much you have pretty much 3 running backs, but only have 18 running plays. Build the playbook to your strengths. But we have seen this story for years.
I don't think. Okay, I'm curious what you think, and we're going to get to the Oil Understood right after this. I don't think that they want to call running plays for Trey Ford. I mean, have they called a run for Trey Ford?
No.
They've called a couple rollouts.
Yes.
But they're trying to get him to pass out of the pocket.
I don't want to see run plays for Trey Ford.
Okay.
You have 2 really good running backs that can take a pounding. Give them the ball. It worked last night. But I do agree with what you're saying is get Trey out of the pocket, move the pocket.
Because there was that one longer pass when he took the snap and immediately rolled to his right.
Or a sprint rollout. You don't have to do the full rollout because the full rollout read, well, the whole defense knows you're throwing to that sideline.
Right.
You cannot be running at full speed to your right and throw it across your body to the left. But you can do a sprint rollout, which is about half of that, but then you set up well outside of the pocket and you can still access the whole field.
I remember a coach telling me once, I can't remember who it was, but he was asked a question about rolling out quarterbacks. And he said exactly that. The disadvantage is you're taking away half the field.
Yes.
And he also said if there happens to be a blitz from the side that he's rolling to that isn't picked up, like he's running right into the teeth of it.
You're screwed.
Yeah, I don't know. It just it doesn't seem efficient. It doesn't seem explosive. It doesn't seem, well, competent, quite frankly, on offense. And then how does a defensive back, the play in the second quarter, I don't know who screwed up, but they had Davis Alexander under pressure, and then he throws to the end zone. The guy was open by 30 yards, Jay.
You want to know exactly how?
You played safety.
Yeah.
Shouldn't the safety just go with the deepest guy?
Devondrick Bynum and Metier were in cover 2.
Okay.
That means there's 2 deep safeties. They split the field in half. Metier, you get that side. I got this side. Half.
Okay.
Devondrick Bynum had a post run and flash in front of his face. A post is an up and in towards the goalpost.
Right.
He went with that post. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to pass that off to Metier. Metier, coming. And then look, because guess why they're running that person and flashing them in front of your face? It's because they're running Tyler Snead down the sideline. So when it looked like the player that was up at the line of scrimmage getting mad, throwing his hands in the air, looking like he got burnt, no. It was a safety that wasn't doing his job.
Right, because there was a DB pointing, and he's like, what's going on?
Well, yeah, because that's the guy that Bynum's supposed to have. So that's one of those mental mistakes.
Did Bynum get called for that pass interference they challenged?
Yes.
That was not pass interference.
That was pass interference.
He just was going to play the ball. He turned around and tried to play the ball, and they bumped shoulders. I didn't see any holding.
His hand.
I didn't.
They showed a really good replay of it on TSN, and he had his one hand locked down.
Okay, it didn't look the replay I saw in the stadium. I didn't notice that.
And I agree with you. At first glance, it did not look like pass interference.
Well, that was a bummer. I hate that challenge, CFL Command Center. What are you doing? All right. Well, I'm serious. Like it's so confusing, and if I was a CFL offensive coordinator, I'd be like, let's just throw it deep. Who cares about completing it? We'll get pass interference.
Well, there's that too.
What do you think of the accidental pass interference for getting the feet caught up? Because the Elks benefited from that. Well, that is the rule.
No, the Elks did not, because that would have been against Montreal if that was full-on pass interference.
Well, yes.
Right? They only got a 10-yard penalty.
That's what I mean.
That could have been...
What did I say? I got
You said the
up.
Elks benefited, but Montreal
benefited, yes.
Yeah.
Well, the Elks benefited from the flag itself.
True.
But they didn't get as many yards.
That's true. But it was the right call.
But should that be called, or would you sooner just see, well, if their feet clash, don't call it?
He was leaning into him. He was pressing him towards the sideline.
Okay.
If it's truly accidental, like you're just running beside somebody and you catch feet, no, but he was leaning into the receiver of the Elks.
All right. When do the Elks play again? Thursday?
Next Thursday.
At Winnipeg?
Yep.
So, and Winnipeg plays Saturday, playing the Lions again. All right. Good discussion on the Elks. We also have extensive Oilers coverage today. The Oil Understood, presented by GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around. From turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors, they are the critical engine component experts. Proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years, and now a partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel. Understood. Stan Bowman, GM of the Edmonton Oilers, speaking today. Now, look, he's not going to give overly specific things. He's like we talked about yesterday with some of the players. McDavid's not going to say, I'll sign my contract July 4th, whatever. Stan Bowman's not necessarily going to say, okay, here are the guys I'm trading. I mean, you don't go public with that kind of stuff. He did say he's talking to other GMs. He did give a clip that we played earlier. We'll probably play it again at some point, that forwards and goaltenders would be the two areas that he'd be looking to have the most change. He liked the defense. He doesn't think there'll be a lot of change on defense. He was asked a question, and this is a longer clip, but we're going to play the whole thing so people can hear it. Mark Spector basically asked the question, 2 years in a row in the Stanley Cup final, the Oilers had the second best goaltending. So Skinner last year, Skinner and Pickard this year. Now up against Bobrovsky, who's an excellent goaltender. Here was Bowman's response to that.
Goaltending is a strange part of the game. It's, on the one hand, it's kind of simultaneously the most important thing, but also it's the hardest thing to really understand, because sometimes the goaltenders who you think are the best aren't the best. And I think just this playoff run is a perfect example. Like in the 4 rounds, in 3 of the 4 rounds, we had the better goaltending than our opponent. And you look at Kemper, Aiden Hill, and Ottinger, our goalies were better than them in each of those series. And I think that's the reason we went to the final. And then in the final, it flipped. So 3 of the 4 rounds, we had the better goaltending. That's just simple. Look at it. And, so I can't explain that. It's hard to explain how that happened or why it happened. And I'm not disputing that in the final, Bobrovsky was excellent. I mean, he made a lot of big saves when we had chances early in games and we didn't get the lead, and credit to him. Or, our players needed to pick the corners better. Like it's one of the two, right? And but it's I can't really explain how in the first 3 rounds, not that either goaltending was elite, but ours was always better than our opponent, which I think is strange. You wouldn't think that if you just were to talk to the casual fan, but you just got to look at the way the series played out. So it's a fair question. I don't have an answer for you right now. I mean, we're going to examine not just our goalies, but our whole team and see if there's a way to be better prepared next season. So it could involve the goaltending. It could not. There's a lot of factors that I just don't have all the information to answer you right now.
All right, so a relatively long answer. I mean, I agree with some of the stuff he said, that goaltending can be a very mysterious position. It is very important. Remember back in the first round, that seems like a long time ago, it was all Darcy Kemper. And I said, look, it's the job of the Oilers' top offensive players to figure out Darcy Kemper. And I think they will, because I thought his regular season stats were not indicative of his ability. I thought they were helped by the team in front of him, which is a factor in all this. And the Oilers did do that. Pickard obviously came in and played very well. Both goaltenders played against Vegas. Both guys got wins. Skinner did outplay Ottinger for the most part in this series, and Bowman referenced that you necessarily wouldn't expect that. Now, you have to take a look at that position. There's only so many goalies, right? So he's not trading for Hellebuck or Bobrovsky or somebody like that. If he gets somebody, he's probably going to bring in somebody who is coming off a better season than Stuart Skinner, but maybe also is a little bit of an unknown or perhaps has had an inconsistent career as well. That's how I look at that. I mean, it's his job to look at it. Who knows where they're going to find somebody. So that's that with the goaltending. What did you think of that clip?
I guess what he's saying is that he's attributing them being better in goal because they won the series. Now, they weren't better in goal all the time during those series, and nor were they out-goalied all the time in the Florida series. But as you've always said, the best goalie stat you have is what?
Wins.
So I appreciate that being said. My concern here, and I've said this we've talked about this before, Reid, is Stuart Skinner's really in his 3rd year of being a regular netminder for the Edmonton Oilers. Okay, he's got a regular season average save percentage of 905.
Right.
Playoffs, that's dropped to 893. This is a relatively young netminder, a relatively inexperienced when you look at the grand scheme, and you're looking at other goaltenders that you're going to have to say, oh, who can we bring in to replace and make that position better? I just don't know if it's. I don't know. You tell me what you think, but. Do you think it's right, the right timing to say that we're done with Stuart Skinner and we're giving up on Stuart Skinner?
No, I think he should still be on the team next year.
But maybe not.
But I think they have to look at that position set as a whole. And that could, I know this is going to make a lot of people unhappy, this could involve sacrificing Pickard just for the longer term future of the team.
So somebody's got to go.
Well, probably.
And yeah, if you look at the age of both of them and the experience of both of them, I mean, Pickard's been a bit of a journeyman netminer his whole,
For sure he has.
So that would probably be the easier player or the easier pill to swallow for Oilers fans. Although not all.
No, it wouldn't.
You think most Oilers fans would rather see Skinner go and keep Pickard?
Probably.
Really?
Yeah.
I just don't see it that way because I think, 3 years, that's really not that long of a career in goal.
Right.
And
that's why I personally would be reluctant to say you're not good enough to play to be on our team.
And look what happened with Devin Dubnyk. I mean, this organization has been down this road.
Now, the difference was Dubnyk was the goaltender on horrible teams. These guys are goaltenders on teams that have been to the Stanley Cup final.
But look what Dubnyk did after he left Edmonton and flourished.
Yeah, he has some very good teams.
He had some very good
seasons, I should
years,
say.
Right?
Anyway, what Bowman is saying, I think that was a fairly honest answer. And he said he's going to look at the forwards, and he said he's going to look at the goaltending the most for possible changes. I think with the forwards, and he referenced this when they brought in Trent Frederic, and he's referenced it again today, that they need to change the makeup of the forwards. I said this with Dusty and Tom on the Oil Stream. I bet you if Stan Bowman would have been the GM last July 1st, instead of Jeff Jackson running the show, I bet you Jeff Skinner would not have been signed. I think Bowman believes they have to get quicker, a little more physical, probably a little younger up front, and have a dimension from players in the bottom six that is maybe a little more rugged. Because what was the other thing about Jeff Skinner and even Arvidsson? It's like, well, is that really who they are? Is that really who they've been on other teams? And they never really sort of fit in here.
Well, and you could add to that multi-dimensional players that can fill other roles other than just being offensive.
Right.
Was a major, that was an issue for Jeff Skinner. No question. To see him sitting in the press box, well, yeah, you can't play power play. You're not playing the penalty kill, and you're not producing.
All right, more from Stan Bowman as we move along. You can participate in the discussion by posting in the Nasty Chat on YouTube. If you are on YouTube, don't forget, hammer that thumbs up button. Give us a click if you haven't already. We want to get to 155 thumbs by the end of the show. We were well on pace to do that. That pace has dropped off a little bit, so make sure you get in there and click. You can text us at 780-218-9999. That is the afternoon inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the Kitchen Restaurant. All-you-can-eat prime rib buffet for just $49.99 every Sunday from 4 to 10 p.m. We're also going to have Jamie Thomas out of Winnipeg, the Ground Control podcast, for some perspective on Johnathan Toews signing there. I think I hear the Coupe coming now.
Oilers general manager Stan Bowman spoke this morning, mentioning that he expects to have some changes to the team, highlighting the goaltending and forward group. That the forward group will be evaluated the most. CFL action has the Riders meet the Argos. Kickoff at 5:30. Chad Kelly is out for Toronto. Nick Arbelkel getting the nod. And from BC, Jeremiah Mazzoli is getting the start tomorrow for the Lions against the Bombers. Nathan Rourke suffering a core injury in the game last week. Rourke will dress for the game. Plus, the Jays and White Sox have their series opener. Spencer Turnbull is the starter for the Jays. First pitch at 5:07. Elsewhere, we have the Mets and Phillies duking it out. The Royals and Padres going toe-to-toe while the Red Sox battle the Giants. And from Edmonton, the Riverhawks host the Apple Sox. Edmonton losing 7-0 yesterday to the Bells. And you can listen to the full game on any of EST's audio streams coverage starting just after 7. This Sports Update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring, proudly serving Edmonton and area for over 30 years. Their West End showroom is open 7 days a week. You can also shop online at ParamountFlooring.ca. The Reid Wilkins Show returns after a brief intermission. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric.
Let's get to Chris Johnson.
Austin Matthews is the same agent. Connor McDavid doesn't mean it's the same solution that works for him individually, but Matthews signed a 5-year deal and then a 4-year deal in Toronto. That range probably makes sense. It gives the Oilers some security knowing they have him and Draisaitl locked up, but it also doesn't lock him into a forever thing in case maybe the organization doesn't trend in the direction he'd like.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric, presented by South Fort Chevrolet. Weekday mornings 6 to 9, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Got some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
River Cree Resort and Casino proudly presents Ian Munsick. July 5th, live in the venue. Country fans, you don't want to miss an evening with Ian Munsick, a stampeding, spirited celebration of romance, ranch life, family, and forever young fun. Tickets on sale now at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
Keep your team jersey and rally towel close by and help bring the championship home. For all your other treasures, store them with Sentinel Storage. Store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca. Proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
All right. Happy Friday, everybody. It's 4:27. What are you up to? Along with Jason Milne, I'm Reid Wilkins. Tough loss for the Elks last night. They are 0-2. Still not doing very good in July. Oilers GM Stan Bowman talking today. We'll keep going with some of those clips. Jay and I, of course, are coming to you from the Banquet Studio. Craving a late night snack? Check out the Banquet's new late night happy hour menu. Sunday to Thursday, 9 p.m. until close. Enjoy favorites like sweet and spicy lettuce wraps or the Banquet Burger at happy hour prices. The Banquet! Get real. Play hard. All right. Sorry, go ahead.
What do you think of a comment like this, Reid? This comes from Mick Choke in the nasty chat.
All right.
Get rid of Henrique, Jay Skin, RV, and the rest of the passengers. Let's get some good forwards.
Well, I don't think Jeff Skinner will be back. Arvidsson has a no movement clause, but I know there's been suggestions or rumors that he might be willing to waive it. Henrique also has a no move. He has 1 year left. I would think, I guess if he's asking about those three players specifically, I would say the order of likelihood of them returning are Henrique most likely, Arvidsson second most likely, and Jeff Skinner least likely. That's what I'm looking at there. But, you know, like he said, he's going to change the...
Well, like, you can't just get rid of them if they have a no movement clause.
Well, no, it's you can't cut players. I think people know that.
Henrique has a no movement.
And this is what I always say to people respectfully. If you're doubting the effectiveness of the player, then other GMs probably are as well. So they're not lining up to take players off the Oilers' hands who might be considered a weak spot. I think what they would do with Henrique is maybe try to change his role a little bit. Maybe push him down in the lineup or have him play a little bit less. I think that's what they would do with Henrique if he doesn't waive his no move clause, which I don't see why he would. Arvidsson, there was rumors that maybe even during the season he might have been willing to do that. So that's what I would say to that.
Sorry, Tommy had suggested a possible move for Henrique to the wing.
Yes,
especially if someone like Trent Frederic could come in and play center.
Right. So that's a good place for where we're going next. Stan Bowman wouldn't talk about any deal for Frederic. He said nothing to announce there, but he gave this is a longer clip, but we want to play all of it because it's significant, not just what he said about the player, but how much he had to say. about the player. So here's Stan Bowman on Trent Frederic.
I don't have anything to announce on Trent, but we're hopeful we can get something to the finish line there and to keep him in Edmonton. Getting to know him as a person has been a great experience because he's got a lot of attributes that I think are very important to a successful team. He's incredibly competitive, great teammate, great team guy. He brings an element that I think you need, which is very competitive. He's fearless. He gives our team to know that nobody's going to push us around. But I think you touched on it there. He's really impressive to have someone with his skill set that can play 3 different positions. When we talked to him yesterday, and he did, he said he likes to play center. He likes to play right wing too, or left. He almost prefers center or right wing to left wing. And we used him this year mostly on left. But, I think that he's a young guy. To be a free agent, usually they're a little bit older than that. So he's got kind of the prime years of his career ahead of him. So, if we can get that done, I think that flexibility to use him in the middle, Kris can talk about that as well. That's more of a coaching thing. But I think having the versatility for a guy with his skill set, he's a pretty unique player on the league. There's not a lot of guys that have that combination of his age, his experience, his competitiveness, size, physicality, and I think when you add it all up, he could bring a lot to the team.
All right, so that's Stan Bowman's assessment of Trent Frederic. So I know there's a lot of, and I get it, a lot of consternation or head scratching about this potential rumored 8-year deal. And I get that because I share it. That aside, this is why the GM gets asked questions and why we want the GM to talk publicly. That's what he says about Trent Frederic. So clearly, Stan Bowman thinks that Trent Frederic is excellent fit on the Edmonton Oilers roster. That's what the GM is saying. Whether he's right or wrong right now, I can't tell you. But he thinks he's very competitive. He thinks he's a good team guy. He thinks he's fearless. He thinks he has versatility. He thinks he'll stand up for his teammates. He thinks that he won't allow the players to be pushed around. All that kind of stuff, that's what he's saying. And what did he say at the trade deadline is, why did you get somebody like Trent Frederic? He said, we need a different dimension on our team. So that's what he believes Frederic can bring. I think that some of that belief is justified. If you look at how he played when he was healthy in Boston, he clearly was not healthy during the postseason. And again, he clearly can play center or the wing. Again, we talked about this yesterday. I would think that if he's going to be valued enough to get an 8-year deal, he damn well better play center and be very good at it. That's how I look at that.
I think you summarized it quite well. I think, because look, I think it's inevitable that Evander Kane's not back with this team.
Right. Kane has a year left on his contract. He does have a partial no move. There are 16 teams he can be traded to. I think it's likely Kane would be traded. But I get all the questions about Frederic, and I've said it as well. So you're going to sign this guy until he's 35. How effective is he going to be near the end of that contract? This is not signing a star player for that long. Now, again, it's rumored, reported, not announced yet. But in the short term, or in the next few years, I mean, yes, that could be a very effective player if he performs the way Stan Bowman says he's going to perform.
How old is Trent Frederic right now?
27.
This is a wild thing to say, but hear me out.
Okay.
Do you think the Oilers are looking at trying to take a player like Trent Frederic and mold him into a Sam Bennett-like player?
I don't know. I never thought of it that way.
Because, I mean, Sam Bennett wasn't exactly lighting up the lamp when he was with Calgary.
No, but he still had the pedigree of being a 4th overall draft pick who was perhaps underperforming. Now, Frederic was right at the end of the first round, 29th in 2016, so he should be a very good NHL player or very good in a role. So I guess that's what they're thinking about him. I don't think he'd ever be as good as Sam Bennett. I wouldn't think.
But Sam Bennett, for all he's done in the playoffs, and phenomenal playoffs this postseason, he's a 3-time 20-goal scorer in his career.
Right.
Not all of the greatness of Sam Bennett comes in regular season scoring. It's what he's obviously this year, recency bias. It's what he did in the playoffs.
Yes.
I don't know. Just throwing that out there.
No, I don't look at it that way. That's an interesting way to put it. I just think they need Frederic to be a really good, very good third-line player who can play a rugged, aggressive game. I think what Stan Bowman is saying, yes, they would want Frederic to score, but I think they're going to get types of players who can swing momentum in games without scoring.
Yeah.
Or keep the puck pinned in their other end. Now, again, and Bowman references, we've talked about it, a lot of people have talked about it. The Oilers made 3 pretty good teams look deficient. I don't think Dallas has to tear their team apart. As we've talked about, LA was built specifically to beat the Oilers. Still couldn't do it. But I think Bowman recognizes that, okay, we got to make sure we're stronger in a couple of areas.
Well, in the window, as it's commonly, the window of championship opportunity does not last forever. So you need to really tweak that now,
right?
While you've got these players as assets on your team.
Right. So, but this is an interesting one with Trent Frederic because what was the concern when they traded for him? He's an unrestricted free agent. He's going to walk. We'll have done that trade and the salary retention for nothing.
Yep.
What a waste. And now they're going to lock him up long time. Like, well, no, not that long, which I get. That is a long deal, but I do think he has the potential to be a very effective player for the Oilers when healthy. No doubt about that. But I think if you're committing to him for that long, I sure as heck hope it's at center.
It has to be, Reid.
I would hope so. So that's what but you said this as well, and that's what I'm saying with Henrique. I think Henrique will be on that person listed 3 players in the chat. I don't think Jeff Skinner will be re-signed. I know we talk a lot about the no moves on the team. I think Arvidsson is the one player who might be willing to waive his no move. Okay. I think Henrique is back. So what do you do with Henrique as he appeared to look a little older and slower as the playoffs went on? I think you try to transition him to the wing, and Frederic's the guy who could replace him. That's how I look at it. Okay? We'll see how it actually plays out. We'll get to more Stan Bowman clips later on in the show. We are going to go to Winnipeg to visit with our buddy Jamie Thomas. Johnathan Toews, now a Winnipeg Jet. Here comes the Coop.
Oilers general manager Stan Bowman spoke this morning, mentioning that he expects to see some changes to the team, highlighting that the goaltending and forward groups will be evaluated the most. CFL action as the Riders meeting the Argos kickoff at 5:30. Chad Kelly out for Toronto. Nick Arbuckle gets the nod. And from BC, Jeremiah Mazzoli is getting the start for the Lions tomorrow against the Bombers. Nathan Rourke suffering a core injury last week, and Rourke will dress for the game tomorrow. Plus, the Jays and White Sox have their series opener. Spencer Turnbull, Toronto starter, first pitch at 5:07. Elsewhere, we have the Mets and Phillies duking it out. The Royals and Padres going toe-to-toe while the Red Sox battle the Giants. And from Edmonton, the Riverhawks have the Apple Sox at home. Edmonton losing 7-0 to the Bells yesterday. Listen to the full game on any of ESC's audio streams, coverage starting just after 7. This sports update is brought to you by Clover Bar Feeds. Clover Bar Feeds has all the animal feed you will need. Get top-notch service and selection from their family-owned business. Visit Clover Bar Feeds at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park or call them at 780-467-5045. 14. Jamie Thomas up next on the Reid Wilkins Show. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
The EST Hangout.
And I was thinking, I'm like, okay, let's take a step back and look at the big picture with Trent Frederic. People were clamoring for him going into it. They need to get bigger. They need tougher. They need to go get Trent Frederic. They went and got Trent Frederic. And then they get a taste of him, like Maddie was saying, maybe at like 55, 60%. And they're like, oh, we don't need Trent Frederic.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Summer in Edmonton means three things: warm weather, long nights, and plenty of sports. From the lake to the links, you can boost your summer fun with hundreds of casino games, live betting on your favorite sports teams, and access to popular lotteries. All in one app, anywhere in the province. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code YAG50 to claim a $50 free bet. That's promo code YAG50 for a $50 free bet on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Here we go. Football is back at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth. Cheer on your green and gold as we kick off the excitement with the ultimate celebration of the game we love. Thursday, June 19th, Edmonton versus Montreal. A huge home opener with the Super Dogs halftime show. Plus the debut of our new in-house band, brand new food items, and to celebrate every double E touchdown, the return of an old favorite. Get your home opener tickets now at GoElks.com. Game day sponsored by Edmonton International Airport. Go Elks!
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
Just like the boys of summer keep their gear in top shape, you can keep your stuff safe with Sentinel Storage.
Hit a home run with Sentinel Storage, official storage provider of the Toronto Blue Jays. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
All right, appreciate you tuning in this afternoon. If you're taking us in on YouTube, click that thumbs up. We kind of stalled. Everybody was excited early. We're not even at 100 yet. Don't delay any longer. Just me in the nasty chat says, Reid, Jay, everybody was champing at the bit for Kane to return. He did. Now everybody wants him gone. What happened? All right, here's what happened with Kane, or is happening with Kane. I think the reason he's referenced as someone who could not be on the roster is he only has a year left on his deal. Trading him would move out a $5.125 million cap hit. He's 33 years of age, so he's not ancient, but he's getting later in his career, and he has a no move list of 16 teams he can go to. So 16, I guess 15 because he's with the Oilers. So the reason he's talked about as a trade candidate is because of his age, only having a year left, and a no move contract that isn't a full no move. So he could actually be traded without having to waive it. He would give a list, here's 16 teams you could trade me to. I also think there was probably some frustration with his play with fans in the Cup final because he took some penalties and didn't have a huge impact otherwise. Though he did have a pretty good playoff before the Stanley Cup final. That's why he's talked about as a player who would be moved out. Okay?
Got it.
All right. Let's go to the phone. Jamie Thomas from the Ground Control Podcast, the official podcast of the Winnipeg Jets. Jamie, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Where are you today, my man?
We are driving. I'm dropping my kid off. He's going to his prom or whatever you want to call it. And I got to pay for a parking ticket as I'm talking to you on the phone right now.
Oh, that's a bit. Well, thanks for doing this. So, do you have to chaperone the prom, or you're just dropping off and going home?
No, I don't want to see that stuff happen. Do you?
That's a good way to put it. I never thought of it that way. Where did you go to your prom in high school?
Yes, I did. Like here's the thing. I took an extra year to graduate, so I went to 2 different grad parties, and it was, it was just a disaster, both of them. So there were 2 outdoor parties. You know what I mean? Like, it just got stupid. Like I remember I took rum. It looked like someone had barfed in a bottle. So that was my alcohol for that night. And it was. And I remember a lot of Guns N' Roses being played. That's pretty much what I remember from my prom.
Okay, fair enough. Well, GNR, not bad to listen to. All right, we keep you for too long, but significant news out of Winnipeg. Johnathan Toews, obviously out of the game for a couple of years. He is coming back to the Jets with a contract full of incentives. Well, first of all, what's the reaction with Jets fans about bringing in Toews here?
I think everybody's pretty excited about it, right? So it's just, but the problem is, Reid, and you guys obviously know this, with his health coming back from long COVID, not even Johnathan Toews knows what to expect. And that's the reason why they have that incentive-laden contract, right? It's just neither party knows what they're going to get from Johnathan Toews. So I think people are excited because how can you not be excited? First off, local kid. Second off, guy's won 3 Stanley Cups. He's won a bunch of international tournaments. The guy knows what it takes to win. He's an incredible work ethic, great face-off guy. So I think adding a middle 6 forward and adding some depth up the middle is always helpful, especially with Adam Lowry on the mend early on in the season. He just had hip surgery, so that'll be important that way. But this whole thing, we are not sure what you're going to get from Johnathan Toews. Can he come back from this? I know it's not like Gabriel Landeskog with a knee injury, but we have no idea what this is going to look like long term. So that's why there's an incentive-laden contract. But adding somebody of his stature to that dressing room, I even think of the stature that Luke Schenn has, winning 2 Stanley Cups. This is Johnathan Toews. So this is just, a lot of people are so excited about it. And I've told the story a million times. Every time the Blackhawks came to Winnipeg, when the Winnipeg media would go in the Blackhawks dressing room, one of the players would go, "Did you know Johnathan Toews is from Winnipeg?" And that was like a running joke for the longest time. So now he is from Winnipeg, and he's a Winnipeg Jet. So those jokes will stop, I imagine.
Jamie Thomas from the official podcast of the Winnipeg Jets, Ground Control Podcast, joining us here.
Yeah, the only one.
The only one. You got Jay here, Jamie. Okay, so there's no question. Toews is 37 years old. What he brings to the locker room is immense for sure. I'm wondering, and I understand what you just said. Nobody knows, neither parties know exactly how this is going to work out. But in your opinion, where does he fit in, and what are the realistic expectations from the Jets fan base of Johnathan Toews?
Yeah, I think, Jay, is a great question because there's still so much unknown here, but you're hoping you're getting a middle 6 forward. The Jets struggle in the faceoff department. Now, Scott O'Neill brought up a lot of the fact that wasn't just on the centerman. That's on that's the wingers, it's the defensemen play a role in faceoffs. But to have Johnathan Toews is one of the better faceoff guys in the National Hockey League, if not one of the best. And the calm, collective of Johnathan Toews in that dressing room to go along with Adam Lowry, Mark Scheifele, Josh Morrissey, just a leadership group and that have, certainly with Johnathan Toews winning the way he has throughout his career, I just think people are expecting just another veteran presence within the dressing room that will help them get over the hump of that second round. When you spend all that energy in Game 7 beating St. Louis, and then they were flat in Game 1 of the Dallas series. Maybe that doesn't happen because you had somebody of his stature in there. Just that veteran presence that you just can't have enough of, along with the youth that you have already. But I think people are just expecting that, not Johnathan Toews in 2010, 2013, just this calm veteran presence that will just add that sort of calmness that you need in tight times that you're going to have in a Stanley Cup playoffs, for instance.
All right. I know we got to let you go. I'll just close with one more because, Stan Bowman talked today here in Edmonton. So we're looking at the Oilers off season. What's a key decision or two that Cheveldayoff and the Jets management are going to have to make this summer?
Well, buddy, first off, I got to figure out what's going to go with Nikolai Ehlers, right? So it's just there's going to be a trickle down effect at some point. So if Ehlers doesn't sign here, then all of a sudden you're like, okay, I don't want to say you're scrambling, but the Jets are not going to be spending like crazy on July 1, right? Let's just get that out of the way. They're not going to be offer sheets all over the place. you're going to look internally. So this is a big summer for Brad Lambert if Ehlers doesn't sign. It's a big summer for Nikita Chibrikov, the younger players like that. Chibrikov's a possible Jet this year because maybe Mason Appleton doesn't sign as a just unrestricted free agent. And then on top of that, you got to take care of Dylan Sandberg, who proved himself as a top 4 defenseman this year and had a great year. And you got to get Gabriel Velarde to sign. Both those players are restricted free agents. And on top of that, guys, Kyle Connor's an unrestricted free agent after this upcoming season. So they got to take care of that, because to have that hanging over and ask him, the distraction of, are you signing? What's going on? I'm sure they don't want to deal with that as the year goes along. So those are just a couple things, but don't expect Kevin Cheveldayoff off and the Winnipeg Jets to be spending a boatload of money on outside sources on July 1. It's going to be take care of business within your own building.
Okay. Great perspective, Jamie. Thanks for touching base. I hope prom night is perfect. Maybe it's going to be a nice quiet night for you and your wife. Thanks for hopping on.
Can you the fear of what your son's going to do is like one of the worst things ever. Like, I've had 100 conversations with him. Don't get liquored up. Don't get hammered, because then I don't want to pick you up in a mess and all that stuff. Your grandma's coming to visit. Like, all this stuff I never thought was going to happen. I never thought I'd be telling my kid not to get hammered.
That's awesome, buddy. I give you permission to get hammered tonight. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, I'll be getting him to drive me home after I pick him up. Your bet.
Thanks, Jamie. Jamie
See you
Thomas,
guys.
official podcast of the Winnipeg Jets ground control. Yeah, Jamie's going to be texting his son.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to come get me. Dad, I'm middle of the prom. I haven't had anything to drink, like you said. I'm having a great time with my friends. No, I'm hammered. I need you to drive me home. Chris Johnston here. Here's Chris's tweet from earlier. Johnathan Toews' contract includes $2 million in base salary and up to $5 million in bonuses. Bonuses are $550,000 each for hitting 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60 games played.
Wow. That's 2.5 or what, $2.75 million?
$500,000 if the Jets make the playoffs and Toews plays 50 games. $250,000 each for round 1, round 2, and round 3 wins, and Toews has to play half of those playoff games. And then $1 million if the Jets win the Stanley Cup, and Toews has to play half of the games. So that's how all the incentives factor in for him.
Have you seen a contract like this, Reid? This bonus incentivized?
I'm trying to think.
I mean, I know this is a regular occurrence in the NFL.
I'd have to go back
CFL.
and look. Yeah, I'd have to go back and look.
But you can't recall one off the top of your head.
I mean, no, not with that many.
Like with this many stipulations.
Yeah, that's
20,
a lot.
30,
that's a lot.
40, 50, 60 games played. Each time, that's $550K.
Right.
So it's almost like they're assuming that this will fail. Or I don't know. I don't know what the thought process is, behind putting this. I guess both sides had to agree to this too, though, right?
Well, right. And they're basically saying we don't really know how healthy you're going to be, right? Like they really don't know how many games he's going to be able to play. So some of that is factored into how much does he participate in the season. And if he's playing every game and we're winning, then he's probably helping us win. So in that case, we'll pay for it. It would go on to next year's cap, right? So that's how that factors in. I just want to go over, because I think this is worth mentioning, because there's a lot of talk about, no move clauses with the Oilers, rightfully so, because a lot of players have them. And then every once in a while I see, someone in the chat say, trade this player, and some of that's not realistic. So I want to go over the no move clauses. Okay. Leon Draisaitl, no move clause. Can't be traded. Connor McDavid, currently no move clause. So, and here's the thing about a no move. You can't even be sent to the minors. There's a difference between a no trade and a no move. If you just had a no trade, they could actually send you to the minors. Okay? Zach Hyman, this upcoming season, has a full no move clause. For the final couple of years of his contract, he can so in 26-27, he could submit an 8-team trade list, and then in 27-28, he could submit a 10-team trade list. Vander Kane, I talked about, 1 year left on his contract, 16-team approved trade list. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, full no-move clause. I've seen Nuge's name come up. People say, get rid of Nuge, trade Nuge. You can't. He has a no-move.
Unless he waived it.
You'd have to go to him and ask him, and that's awkward in itself, is it not?
Very much
with a player who's been with the team that long.
Absolutely.
Victor Arvidsson, full no move, year left on his contract. He might waive that. Adam Henrique, full no move, has a year left on his contract. Matthias Janmark has a modified no trade clause. He has a 10-team no trade list. So, probably at the start of the season, the agent has to submit the teams. He says, hey, Matthias would not go to these teams. You could still trade him to 21 other teams. On defense, Darnell Nurse has a full no-move clause for the next 2 years, and then he has a 10-team list later on in the contract, a 10-team no-trade list. And that's it. Now, that's a lot, obviously, but I'm getting this off Puckpedia. I'm sure most people use Puckpedia, but I just wanted to go over this because I know we get like, well, why don't you guys ever talk about trading Nugent-Hopkins? Well, because that's not... It's a complete thing that would never happen. So that's why I don't talk about it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on something that isn't even hypothetically possible. Okay? So that's why we're with that. Edmonton Sports Talk, of course, is presented by Play Alberta. Gaming made easy anytime, anywhere with Play Alberta. You've got a full casino experience right at your fingertips. Play from your phone, tablet, or computer, whatever works for you. Download the Play Alberta app today and get started with a $50 casino bonus. Just deposit $20 with the promo code EST Casino. Play smart, play local, and remember to use your game sense. You can get in touch by posting in the Nasty Chat. Good conversation going on there. Click the thumbs up as well. We're over 100, but we still need about 50 to get to 155. So don't delay any longer. If you have not clicked, you can email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, Jay at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. You can text the afternoon inbox, 780-218-9999, presented by River Cree Resort Casino, featuring Italia Restaurant, home of the $6.99 brunch special from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sundays. All right, a little more here from Stan Bowman before we take the 5 o'clock break. Bowman just, off the top, gave some general comments on how he thought the team played in the postseason.
At the end of the day, Florida, played better than we did in the final, and they deserved it. I think leading up to that point, I think we played some very impressive hockey. And if you start from really Game 3 of the LA series, once we got going all the way through to the final, we played really, really well, and we made it. I think we did to those other teams what Florida did to us, which is they looked like they couldn't get to their game. Like, we just really were able to win a lot of different ways. It wasn't just one style that we were winning with. Sometimes it was the goaltending. Sometimes it was the forwards. Sometimes it was how great our D was transitioning the puck. Sometimes it was our big guys found a way to score an overtime goal to win the game for us. So I think we had a lot of different contributions, and we left those teams, LA, Dallas, and Vegas, scratching their heads like, what happened? And that's kind of what happened to us.
Bowman also commenting on being in Edmonton during the postseason.
So I think just for me, it was my first year being here with the team and being in Edmonton. And, I heard a lot about what it's like to witness the fans and the support. And I watched it from a distance, but I guess I first want to say it's incredible. The support that we have from the fans here and the enthusiasm they have for the team. And there's nothing like being here in the playoffs and watching the city be captivated by our team. So that was really special. And, it's a credit to everyone here who loves the team as much as they do.
All right, a little bit there from Stan Bowman. A couple more clips from him still in the final hour of the show. Limerick time from Bronco Nick. He emailed Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Connor doesn't pay for rent. 31 teams have their intent. He's an Oiler. That's the spoiler. Hey, Leafs fans, get bent. That's to the point today from Bronco Nick. You got one you want to do?
Yeah, let's keep it going here. We'll get to VR Montenegro's. Well, it's the summer solstice or the longest day. Fortunately, the outdoors is wet, drab, and gray. But why is this good luck? I think the sun does suck. Adam Sandler's joining the cult made me this way.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know either. Good rhyming.
Well, VR has a lot of interesting references. By the way, Jamie Thomas joined us courtesy Windsor Plywood Leduc. They bring us voices of the game every week here on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne. Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated since 1993. We're more than just plywood. We offer everything from doors and flooring to decking, fencing, and custom millwork. With a huge selection of hardwoods and knowledgeable staff, we're here for all your DIY needs. Windsor Plywood Leduc, the experts you need to know. We got the 5 o'clock break.
Two guys and a goalie.
There's the diehards, and I classify myself in that kind of column because I'd have friends call me. I'd have my family come. They'd know not to knock on my door because I'd be rattled, and I'd go for walks. I'm not much of a walker. I'd kick rocks on my walks. I'm not even joking. Like, it would seriously.
Two guys and a goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Fridays just got a whole lot more fun. Spin the wheel at the banquet for your shot to win big and save on your bill. Spin, win, save. It's that easy. Details at thebanquetbar.com. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
You know Dawn. Everyone knows Dawn. Dawn from
Frontier Cartage. That's right, it's me, Dawn from Frontier Cartage, where we're setting the standard for cartage service in Edmonton and beyond, offering city cartage, Alberta highway, short haul deck, and more. My team and I are bringing our years of industry experience and expertise to every mile.
Join Dawn and her boys in a new chapter in transportation excellence, dedicated to exceptional service. Call Dawn at Frontier Cartage, 587-222-5826.
At Mind 360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind 360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind 360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc, we're the experts you need to know.
Oilers general manager Stan Bowman answered some media questions this morning, highlighting that the team will evaluate its goaltending and forward group, saying that, quote, the defense will have the least number of changes. CFL action sees Saskatchewan visits Toronto. Kickoff at 5:30. Nick Arbuckle gets the ball for the Argos. Chad Kelly ruled out. And for the Lions, Nathan Rourke will not start tomorrow against the Bombers. Jeremiah Mazzoli stepping in. Rourke will still dress for the game. In Toronto, the Jays and White Sox go head-to-head for their series opener. Spencer Turnbull gets the ball for the Jays. The game starting in just a moment. They're warming up right now, and one game is live. The Rangers up 2-0 on the Pirates in the second. Riverhawks also play, taking on the Apple Sox. Tune into the game on any of EST's audio streams with action starting just after 7. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The third and final hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
We good, Coop?
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Is this you guys?
Yeah.
Which one is this one?
This is just a musical medley. There's no lyrics.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We just yelled. That's the lyric, right?
That's it. So I guess the song's called Yeah.
The song is called Yeah. That's amazing. All right. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. We really appreciate it. Good discussion going on in the Nasty Chat. We don't often read those on air. You guys get chatting with each other, which is pretty cool. If you are on YouTube, we got a rally here, everybody. If you haven't given us a thumbs up yet, please do so. Click it. We might not get a single word of the day.
So be it.
130 is our threshold for the word of the day.
So be it.
Maybe that streak will be broken.
It was going to be a magical word, too.
Really? Well, we may never know. I'd like to get to a double word of the day for 155. We'll find out about that. One of the big storylines for the Oilers offseason, a Connor McDavid contract extension. Once again, GM Stan Bowman.
Connor's the best player in the league, the most important player in the league. He's our captain. He's our leader. So yeah, certainly he's the number one priority. I think also listening to Connor's take on things, like he's earned the right for us to be respectful of his timing. Certainly we're eager to meet with him whenever he wants, but also understanding that he just went through a very tough ending to the season. And so timing wise, that's Connor's going to drive that process, but there's no question he's a pivotal player on our team, and not just what he does on the ice, but his leadership. I've had a chance to work with him now this year, and I've been just so impressed with how things you guys probably don't see, but what kind of a teammate he is. And he's incredibly important to our group. And, whenever he's ready, we're going to dive into that.
All right. So really what he's saying there is he'd love to sit down with McDavid right now or whenever, but he's going to respect McDavid's time. And as we talked about this yesterday, Jay, McDavid will probably sort of take the lead on when discussions start.
Well, and like Stan Bowman just said, there really is no rush. This doesn't have to happen prior to July 1st, right? I mean, Connor McDavid's still under contract through the next season. Would you like to have it extended prior to the start of training camp so this is all out of the way?
Of course.
Probably.
And that's what Jamie Thomas just told us about Kyle Connor in Winnipeg. That's what happens with the top guys on each team.
Okay, what is the maximum that Connor McDavid will be able to get?
8 years.
Is it 20?
It's 20% of the cap, I believe. Is that not it, Coop? Is it 20% or 25%? I think it's 20%. So one player can't make more than 20% of the cap.
But the cap's going up.
Yes, but I think it's for what it is currently. Yeah, 20% of the current salary cap. So for the... so it would be around $18 million. Roughly.
Do you think he gets the max?
If he pushes for it, I don't know if he will. I don't know if he'll need to say that.
Here's one thing. I can guarantee you he'll get whatever he asks for, or whatever the maximum he can get. Because there's a lot of other teams that would offer that to him. Whether he has another discussion with the team that says, look, I don't know, Reid. I'm talking out of my ass here, essentially. But
all right,
is there a part of this process that you think Connor and the organization come together and say, look, and this would be initiated by Connor, that I'm not going to take the max to free up, $2 million a year for you guys to make sure we have depth. Or the old hometown discount.
Well, I don't know if it'll look like a discount, but
it is, because
I guess if he takes less than the max, I think maybe the question is how much more than Leon does he take? So Draisaitl's going to be getting $14 million a year. His new contract starts in the fall, starts for the upcoming season. So what does Connor want to say? Okay, well, I am better than Leon. I have more points. I have more Hart trophies. I was drafted higher, all this kind of stuff.
What's the max?
So does he just say, okay, 14.5 is cool?
No.
Just so he can be the highest paid guy on the team.
If he did that, they would have to name streets after Connor McDavid in Edmonton. I just don't see it happening. But I do think there's a middle ground as opposed to Connor McDavid taking the max.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get close to 20, but I think he goes 16 or 17.
But he could.
I mean, he could just
if he
walk.
put their feet to the fire and said, I'm out of here unless you give me the max. He would. They'd have no option.
Right. If he absolutely went into negotiations and said, okay, the current cap is 88 or whatever it's going to be, I want 20% of that. That's all I'm bargaining. You'd probably do it. This is fascinating to me because I even remember when Chiarelli made the announcement about the contract extension after McDavid's second year, right? So they could sign him then. He played the final year of his ELC. Like even Chiarelli said, this could have been a larger contract at the time. But so I don't know if McDavid is going to say, I want 20% of the cap. But there still is, I was going to say ego. Maybe that's not the right word. But there are agents and there is a players association.
The players
involved.
association was what I was going to refer to.
So
they're going to want him to take the max
because that could help other players then get them. I mean, in a couple of years, potentially, Connor McDavid will no longer be the highest player in the NHL because the cap will go up, right? And so just use round numbers for ease of talking about it. Like if McDavid were to get 10% of the salary cap, I know he'll get more than that, but just for ease of talking about it, if he were to get 10% of the salary cap, right, and another good player who's almost as good as McDavid, his agent's going to say, well, okay, you should get 9.5% of the salary cap, but the cap's gone up. Some players are going to be making more than McDavid in a couple of years.
But what did Connor McDavid say in that exit interview yesterday? What was the most important thing to him re-signing?
That he wants to win.
Correct.
That he wants to win.
So, knowing that if he takes the cap, this severely hurts the organization's ability to go find the other pieces. He's not naive to that.
But some of those pieces might be in place before he signs. He might see, okay, what's this team done?
True. But I don't know. Do you think the organization needs to have an idea of where the landing spot is so that they can go and pursue those pieces? Because they're up against the cap.
Right. Though, again, his deal doesn't kick in until next year. And the cap will go up.
True enough.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think he's going to say, I want the max. I think he'll get more than Leon. I think the question is, how much more than Leon does he get? Wouldn't it be great if he says, just pay me the same thing as Leon? We're good. We want to be here together. We'll get paid the same.
I think it would be great if he did the Sidney Crosby treatment, where Sidney Crosby gets 8.7 a million. Give me 9.7 a year.
9.7.
Now, that would have buildings named after you.
I think he gets either 16 or 17 per season. If it's 16, is that a bit of a deal for the team? This is amazing.
That's a massive
numbers
deal.
We're talking about, right?
That is a big deal, though. Reid, there's probably 20 other teams in the league that would offer him the max and have the ability to.
Well, next year.
Yeah, obviously.
Next year, yeah.
But you know what I mean.
I just want to get to this. By the way, buying or selling is what we're into now. It's presented by Damon Bunting, a consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com. Instagram handle, Damon Bunting Real Estate. I can tell by the chat and probably what you're getting on the text line, the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox, 780-218-9999, that most fans are selling on no movement clauses. The Big Uke put something in the Nasty chat just basically saying, look at some other teams. The fair comment. Here's the Tampa Bay Lightning. Okay, Nikita Kucherov has a modified no move, a 10-team trade list. Okay? Braden Point, great player, full no move for a couple years, then a modified one. Jake Gensel has a full no move for another 3 years, and then a modified one later in the contract. Brandon Hagel has nothing this year. Then the next 2 years, a no trade. Then in the final 2 years of his contract, a modified no trade, 16 teams. Anthony Cirelli, full no trade for 2 years, then a modified one for later. Oliver Bjorkstrand has a modified no trade. He has a 10-team no trade. Nick Paul has a no trade this upcoming year and then a modified no trade. Yanni Gourde, full no trade for the next 5 years. Connor Sheary has a 16-team no trade list this upcoming year. Victor Hedman, no move. I mean, some of the better players. Ryan McDonough has a modified no trade, a 12-team no trade list. How about this? Eric Chernak, good player, not a star, makes $5 million, a little over $5 million. Full no trade for 2 years. 16-team trade list, then the final 3 years of his contract from 27 to 30. Vasilevsky, obviously, full. Oh, no, he has a modified one, 10-team trade list. Oh, so you could trade for Vasilevsky starting July 1st if Edmonton's on his list. Just saying. So, yes, there are other teams that hand out no trades. Fair enough. McChoke says, yes, but those players are producers, not bums like Arvidsson and Henrique. They're not all star players, though. I mean, Connor Sheary, good player. Like Nick Paul, good. But I'm just saying that is part of a way to get a player to sign with your team. You offer a no trade. I get that people don't like it. I get that the Oilers have some no trades that are head scratching or that maybe you wish they didn't have. But again, if you're wishing that Adam Henrique had a no trade so you could trade him, how appealing is he to other teams at this point? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair. And thanks for bringing that up, Big Uke, and thanks for running that down, Reid. This isn't the only place that this happens, right? And that's part of the negotiations. And I think it would be let's look at this Trent Frederic contract again. That's already a little bit of a tough pill to take.
Yes, it hasn't even happened.
It hasn't even happened. Just been reported. But usually with when these people are reporting it, it's in the works, right? But if there was no move, a guaranteed no move clause throughout the majority of that, I think it would be a tougher pill to swallow.
Yeah. I think there's something to remember here generally. And I think people know this, but sometimes I feel as if I need to say things to remind people. The NHL Players Association is actually quite powerful. This is the NFL would not be as powerful, correct? Nowhere near as powerful, probably,
as the league,
as the NHLPA. Given the collective bargaining, I mean, the NHL players have a lot of power. Like they get guaranteed contract. You can't be cut. Some of these players can't be sent to the minors.
Yeah.
I remember I got into an argument with a guy at Ched right night after a game because remember Luch was like really good for a year and a half, and then it started to drop off. And this one guy was like, send him to the minors. And I was like, well, they can't send him to the minors. He has a no movement clause. He's like, oh, so you think he's having a good season then? I said, no, that's not what you asked me. You asked me if they could send. You said you wanted to send him to the minors, and I said they can't do that. He's like, well, sure they can. They own his contract. I said, yes, correct. And his contract has a no move clause, which means literal movement. He can't play anywhere except in the NHL for the Oilers under this contract. So he cannot go to Bakersfield. He's like, oh, so you think he's having a good season then? I was like, okay, I'm not going to talk to you.
What are we doing?
Like, what are we doing here? So the players do have power. And yes, I know people are going to be, well, it just protects players who are underperforming. Yeah, welcome to the jungle, baby.
Well, that's why it's a
union. That's why you need GMs to make very crafty moves. Yeah, that's why it's a union.
Yeah.
I mean, I realize people say, well, didn't unions start so 12-year-old kids didn't have to work 20-hour days in coal mines? Yeah, probably. I don't know the whole history of unions. I don't know if it was 12-year-old kids in coal. I got black lung again, Jay. Isn't that where black lung? Someone's text in the history of black lung.
Please. We'll spend the rest of the show.
But it's they have some power here with getting no move. I mean, I think some leagues you can't even have no. Can they have no movement clauses in the NFL? I don't know if they can.
No, but you get guaranteed money as a part of your contract.
That's what they have. So a signing bonus.
Signing bonus guaranteed. But then after that, nothing's
Anybody
guaranteed.
could really be cut.
And they are quite often.
Right.
Big stars.
But that's why players are getting money up front or getting signing bonuses.
Yeah, that's now how it's evolved. Okay, you're not going to give me guaranteed contract. Well, then you're going to give me 3/4 of my contract up front.
Like
or
agents
half
are always going to find a way.
They are,
it, right.
but I much prefer the NFL way, for the record. If you stink, get off my team. And that's what the NFL does. There's nothing guaranteed. Take the hit. You've lost the money that you've guaranteed to this player, but you no longer are obligated to keep them on your team under a contract.
Right. Buying or selling, no move clause. J. Milne.
Oh, selling. Don't like them. Because
but the players got it though.
I know, and the league.
If you were a player, you would love it.
Of course I would. I'm looking at this just from as somebody that watches and views this team and the predicament they're now in because of all these no movement. But the players got it. I mean, whoever did the negotiating for the Players Association deserves a massive paycheck.
Well, they get one.
Right? Because it is exactly that, Reid. It does protect players who are underperforming.
All right, 780-218-9999 is how you text us. That's the afternoon inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 restaurant, where the entire menu is 50% off 7 days a week. It's just, I bring this up sometimes, and I sometimes when I say this stuff, I'm not necessarily taking a stance or defending anything or saying this is good. I just remind people that there are facts.
You're just supplying information.
Trade Nuge. Okay, how do you do that? Well, go to Nuge and tell me you want to trade him.
Well, he can tell you to
He'll look you back in the eye and say no. I have a no move clause. I'm not trading it. Like there's legally no other conversation to have, right? Like there are contracts for a reason. They are honored for a reason, whether you like it or not.
Dave makes a good point in the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox, 780-218-9999. We forget that NHL players are people with lives and families. A no movement clause can be a sweetener so that the player doesn't have to work about uprooting their lives.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, I'm going to move my family here. I want to know I'm here for at least 3 years.
Guarantee.
I got kids. I want them to go to the same school for 3 years. All that kind of stuff. And yeah, it could be the difference between getting a player and not getting a player. So it's a reality. It may be a reality that people don't like. I get the criticism of some of the Oilers players who have no moves. I get it. Kelvin says, which is exactly why it's called the union. It protects underperformance. So McChoke wants to know, why is that your handle? That's such a mean-spirited handle. Maybe he choked on chicken nuggets at McDonald's. That's what I think. What forwards are going to be gone next year? I think Kane will be traded. I think Arvidsson will waive his no move and be traded. I think Jeff Skinner will not be re-signed. I think Perry will be back. I'm just looking at UFAs. Well, I'm not sure about Connor Brown and Kasperi Kapanen. I guess maybe it depends who else they can go and get on free agency day. And I suppose it depends what interest those players get around the league on free agency day. But I would say not back. My guess would be Kane, Arvidsson, and Jeff Skinner. I mean, Frederic's listed as a UFA, but obviously it sounds like he's going to be re-signed. You got to remember, too, the opening day roster is not the playoff roster. They can make moves during the season. You know what I think a question is we haven't been talking about enough? How healthy is Matthias Ekholm?
It's a great question.
He didn't speak after the season. That wasn't addressed today. Are you a little afraid? Okay, we're just kind of spitballing here. Are you a little afraid he might not start? I know he finished the season, but maybe there's something that's going to need more rest here over the summer into the fall?
No, because it is the summer. And if there is something that needs a little bit more attention, take the first 2 months of the regular season off and get it. You know, there might be an LTIR play here. Who knows? I don't know, but I think the general belief is that he was not, well, obviously he wasn't fully recovered from that injury.
Right.
And that it might be something that needs more work or more time, or I'm not sure. But I'm certainly not rushing Matthias Ekholm back.
All right. Speaking of LTIR, we'll touch on that a little bit as well. We still got fired up. If you're taking us in on YouTube and you have not already, click the thumbs up. We need 12 just to get to a single word of the day. Man, oh man, have we hit the dog days of thumbs on the summer solstice? That would be very sad.
What a sad time.
We need a big rally there for sure. Here comes the coup.
Oilers general manager Stan Bowman had one last presser to end the season. Bowman touching on Connor McDavid's possible extension, saying that, quote, whenever he's ready, we're going to dive into that. Bowman also added that, quote, the defense will have the least number of changes, also highlighting that the team will explore possible goaltending adjustments. The lone CFL game has the Riders and Argos clashing at 5:30. Nick Arbuckle starts for Toronto, while from BC, Jeremiah Mazzoli starts for the Lions tomorrow. Nathan Rourke out due to a core injury he suffered last week. Rourke will still dress for the game. And baseball sees the Jays and White Sox live during their series opener. Top of the second, Spencer Turnbull pitching for the Jays. 5 other games are live, all in the first. The Orioles and Yankees run list. The Braves and Marlins locked at zeros, while the Reds and Cards share that same score. Back in Edmonton, the Riverhawks host the Apple Sox just after 7. Edmonton being shut out by the Bells 7-zip last night. Listen to the entire game on any of EST's audio streams. Catch our full schedule at edmontonsportstalk.com. This sports update is brought to you by Find Edmonton. Find takes your unused furniture and home goods to help those moving out of homelessness. Get donations picked up or drop them off free of charge. Visit findedmonton.com or call them at 780-988-1717. The Reid Wilkins Show returns after a brief intermission. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
The oil stream.
Skinner was just supposed to be taking over.
Good reminder.
Like, Skinner being thrown to the Wolves is just a failure of management to epic proportions. The plan would have been for him to play, 25, 30 games a year, and Campbell plays 50. Instead, you had to thrust him into this spotlight, probably ahead of schedule, and now you're on the verge of possibly ruining him because of your incompetency and finding the guy that's supposed to help him.
The oil stream, presented by Boston Pizza. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Summer in Edmonton means 3 things: warm weather, long nights, and plenty of sports. From the lake to the links, you can boost your summer fun with hundreds of casino games, live betting on your favorite sports teams, and access to popular lotteries. All in one app, anywhere in the province. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code YAG50 to claim a $50 free bet. That's promo code YAG50 for a $50 free bet on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Strike up some fun at the Banquet Bar. Bowling, drinks, and a great time with friends where the good times roll. Whether you're here to bowl or just hang out, the Banquet Bar is your go-to spot. Get real, play hard at the Banquet.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino proudly presents Ian Munsick.
Long live Calgary.
July 5th, live in the venue.
All horses are fast.
Country fans, you don't want to miss an evening with Ian Munsick, a stampeding, spirited celebration of romance, ranch life, family, and forever young fun. Tickets on sale now at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Keep your team jersey and rally towel close by and help bring the championship home. For all your other treasures, store them with Sentinel Storage. Store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca. Proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
Must you click? Click. Thumb. Must you click?
All right, the Thumb Click remix is put together by Zachary Kubish. Good rally here. Got to 130. We need 25 more in 20 minutes to get a double word of the day. So if you have not already clicked, please do so. Send the link to other people. Say, hey, give these guys a thumbs up. Check out their show. We've had some fun. We've had some good serious discussion about the Elks and about the Oilers. The off-topic topic for William Huff was best way to take advantage of the summer solstice, all the daylight, wrong or silly answers only, or the best thing about it. Certainly for me, you are probably not going to get chased and bitten by a vampire with this much daylight.
That's a
like,
that's
what's
a
he
big
going to do?
deal.
He's got to stay in his crypt almost the entire time.
This must be awful for them.
Yeah, they're crypt bound, or they got to stay in their house with all the curtains closed.
How would you choose to fight off a vampire? Wood? Would you go with the wood, or would you go with garlic?
I'm going to start wearing a necklace of garlic at all times.
Are you?
Yeah.
Pickled?
Yeah. Does pickled garlic have any different
Does
effect?
it do the trick? Because I can nibble on them from time to time. Is
garlic's good for you?
Garlic is very good for you.
But raw garlic makes you stink.
Well, yeah, but it's a matter of, do you want to get over your cold, or do you want to...
Or do you want to ward off a vampire?
Exactly. I'm going with the vampire. Is that what it is, though? Like a wooden stake?
A wooden stake through the heart apparently kills the vampire. Yeah, and I think you can scare them off. What are some of the rules for vampires? They don't like garlic. They don't like crosses. Like, can't you just hold up a cross and they walk away? Holy water, if you got some holy water on you. And isn't there something that a vampire can't come into your house unless you invite them in? That was the thing in the Lost Boys, right? A lot of rules about vampires. That Dracula movie, what was that movie I was all excited about at Christmas? Nosferatu?
Yeah.
It was okay.
Right.
Could have been better.
You were let down by that.
Yeah, it looked great. And I read the book for Dracula a few years ago, and the story is outrageously bad. Like, it doesn't make any sense how dumb some of the characters are. And then the movie recreated that, and I felt the same way at times. It looked incredible. The staging was amazing. But
Big Hugh says pickled garlic repels vampires but attracts Ukrainians.
Oh, jeez.
This is true.
Barry the Cheater says something about vampires and silver. I think it's where silver kills werewolves. Silver bullet, right?
Is it?
I maybe there's something else with vampires and silver. I thought that you take down a werewolf with a silver bullet.
Have you seen the animated movie Hotel Transylvania?
I have not. How is it?
My daughters love it.
Maybe I should watch it.
I think you'd like it. Learn a lot about vampires.
Is it geared towards children?
I've sat in and watched it. It's kind of like every Pixar-ish style movie where you can sit and watch it and there's still stuff you would laugh at or snicker
Oh, right.
at.
So there's stuff for adults.
Yeah.
Hotel Transylvania. I have not seen that one. I can tell you this. Speaking of fired up here for Gemco Fireplaces, proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years, the authorized dealer for Napoleon Fireplaces. Whether it's gas or wood burning, look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon Fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need are available at Gemco, 9281 50th Street. So I was at my parents the other day. Well, I'm at my parents a fair bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so a cousin is getting married in August. And a couple cousins from Ontario are coming out. And they texted me the dates that they're going to be here. So I was telling, it's two brothers. So I was telling mom and dad. And mom said, can you write it in our day timer? My parents have a day timer they keep by the phone.
Yep.
It did say for tonight, Panthers at Oilers. So that one's not happening. So, so I booked Monday, Tuesday off. I booked the day in August off. And mom said, can you write those days you're off in the day timer as well? So I put in when my cousins are coming, or like arrive this day, depart this day. I put in my days off. And then I thought, I can be myself here. So I wrote in the dates of some movies that are coming out this summer. I don't know if my parents have found this yet in the day timer. They probably have. Well, now if they're listening, which I'm sure they are, they'll know. So when that movie Megan came out a couple years ago, the killer robot girl, so there's Megan 2.0 coming out. So I put that in the day timer because my dad and I may go see that. And I put in the Fantastic Four movie. And I put in, what's something else I would be interested in? I can't remember now.
Superman.
Yes, I put in Superman.
Yeah.
I put those in the day timer.
You've talked about
Not
Superman.
that we have to go see them. I just put them in.
Did you leave any, naughty comments?
No, I didn't do that.
Why not?
Well, they might get distracted.
I can just see Louise right now walking over to the book beside the phone,
flipping through
pages.
Yes.
Where are these
movies
coming out?
I think the Megan movie is next Friday, and you're off next Friday, correct?
Yeah.
We only have a couple shows together over the next 2 weeks.
That's right.
I'm off Monday, Tuesday. You're off Friday, and the following week.
Yeah.
Is someone doing the show with you Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, Matthew Owanek.
Oh,
the coup.
Sorry.
Well, and you know what we're going to be talking about, which is one of my fired up, is Game 7 of the NBA Finals is happening Sunday night. OKC, Pacers. This is obviously in Oklahoma City. So the series just went like this, Reid. OKC, Pacers.
Is it alternated?
OKC, Pacers.
Oh, wow.
OKC, Pacers. So it just makes sense that this should be the Pacers that win, right? I think it's going to be a great game. I don't know what to do because we have Stingers tickets. But that game starts at 4. So we could do a colossal
the Stingers are at 4.
back.
Right.
Do Stingers at 4.
Is the NBA game 6:30?
It's at 6:30.
Okay.
So we could make it happen. That'd be a basketball night.
Yeah, that'd be all right. Who are the Stingers playing again?
No clue.
That could be the name of a team in the league. We should do that. We should start a minor league team and call them the No Clue.
The Niagara Falls No Clue.
Who are they playing? No clue. Oh, well, can I look at a schedule? No, I just told you, no clue.
And my other fired up is had a big day today in the Milne household.
Uh-oh.
It was track and field day out at our Ardrossan Elementary.
Oh, sweet.
And I got the good news here during the show. Rose, my middle daughter, who's in grade 5. And Coob's got the clip here. He's going to put it up. My wife recorded it.
Oh, we have actual race footage.
We have actual race footage of my daughter taking down the grade 5 Ardrossan girls race. Here she is on the left in the teal blue shirt. Yeah, she's coming up. She just takes off at the end here.
What are they running on?
Look at that. What a finish.
That's a dominant victory.
What a finish.
What is that, like shale they're running on?
Yeah, it's clay. It's like
it's clay.
It's like the Paris of the
Like
prairies.
Roland Garros.
Yeah, Roland Garros of Ardrossan. Very proud of her.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
now, were you fast?
awesome.
Where do they get their speed from?
No, they get it from their mom.
Okay.
There's no denying that. I wasn't slow, Reid, but at the level of sport I played at, I wasn't considered fast.
But you didn't need to be. You just needed to be vicious.
I was just vicious and smart.
We played that video of you hitting that guy, and was that Simon Fraser? That was Simon Fraser himself.
That was, sir.
Just
Sir
like Lord
Simon
Stanley.
Fraser.
Just like Lord Stanley. Oh, that's good.
Apparently the Winnipeg Sea Bears are in town.
That's a good name. I like that name.
That is. I think it's. Look, because what is it? What's the city in northern Saskatchewan that has the polar bears?
Churchill,
Manitoba.
Northern Manitoba.
That's the only place
it's on the Hudson
is that
Bay,
not the
isn't it?
only place in Manitoba that there's bears, like polar bears?
And they tell you it's illegal to lock your vehicle, isn't it? Because if you're running away, you might need to get into a vehicle until the bears figure out how to open doors. Imagine that bear. He just, like, the bear could catch the person, but they see them running for the car, and the bear's, I'm going to let him get in the car. Thinking then the bear's kind of like clumsily, like, oh, I can't get in. And then the bear just hooks its claws under
the bear looks at you, and he's got his claw. He's flinging your keys around his claw. Look what I got.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, we have so much fun on this show. It's really quite enjoyable. Did we do the Big Ukes limericks?
No. He doesn't send them to me. He must not.
Oh, okay.
Must not like me.
Hark. I got to start over. Hark, 'tis be thine day of solstice. Nay, the mallow is burned, no practice. For Jay and Reid, next 2 days be freed. The Elks have issues, they need fixes. So you rhymed solstice, practice, and fixes? Yeah. Well, he tried another one. Today on the day of most sunlight, drinking beer bats downtown, oh, what a night. Summer is here, winter's not near. What would it take to give you a big fright? Well, if a polar bear strolled in right now. Or a vampire.
Or if it was waiting in your car.
Or true. Or a vampire. He'd be like, I'm a daywalker. Wasn't Blade a daywalker?
What would we do? We would be defenseless. We don't have...
If a polar bear came in?
No, a vampire.
Well, we could try to go in that room. Well, first of all, we'd throw Coop. Use Coob as a human shield.
He would see Coob first. But Coob, do you have any garlic, any wood stakes, or any crosses on you?
No, but my breath might smell like garlic.
Okay.
Probably not. Yeah, I don't know if that's strong enough, though.
You know what, Coob? I appreciate you.
Yeah, Coob's a
I
good guy.
appreciate all the hard work you do. Everybody should appreciate Coob because he's not the guy that's up here that does this, but he's the guy pressing all the buttons.
You guys are
Can we
doing
put
the hard thing.
Toronto one?
Well, we'll put Sask Toronto on, sure.
Yeah, we can do that.
As I'm trying to be nice to you, Reid's worried about
Yeah,
the
I was worried about
Saskatchewan
watching
Toronto
football
game.
Coob gets enough compliments. By the way, Edmonton Sports Talk presented by Play Alberta. Why limit your choices when you can have it all? Play Alberta is your go-to app for casino games, sports betting, and lottery all in one place. With easy access to real money games, you can enjoy everything Alberta has to offer right at your fingertips. Download Play Alberta and start playing today. All right. What are we going to do? We're going to do a quick timeout. Coob's going to do the final sports update of the day. We have reached 130 thumbs, so we will have a word of the day. If we can find 20 more somewhere, we'll get to a double word of the day before we sign off. Actually, there's another Stan Bowman clip or two I want to get to as well. He spoke today. Here comes the Coop.
Oilers general manager Stan Bowman answered some media questions this morning, highlighting that the team will evaluate its goaltending and forward group, saying that, quote, the defense will have the least number of changes. CFL action has Saskatchewan visit Toronto. That goes in just a moment. Nick Arbuckle gets the ball for the Argos. Chad Kelly being ruled out. And for the Lions tomorrow, Nathan Rourke will not start against the Bombers. Jeremiah Mazzoli steps in with Rourke still dressing for the game. In Toronto, the Jays are down 3-0 to the White Sox in the bottom of the second. 2 outs for Toronto. Andre Jimenez at bat for the Jays. And 5 other games have the Rangers up 3-0 on the Pirates in the 4th inning. The Marlins leading the Braves 1-0 in the second, while the Yankees trail 2-1 to the Orioles in the first. And Riverhawks also play, taking on the Apple Sox. Tune into the game on any of EST's audio streams. Action starts just after 7. This is the final sports update for me, Zachary Kubish. The final segment of the Reid Wilkins Show brings us back on the other side of the break.
EST Afternoons.
The Edmonton Oilers forward group. And I think the top priority is obviously to get younger, and he said that as well. Kind of have different kind of players, different kind of attributes that they can bring. I think the big one for me, though, is you need to find guys for Draisaitl or try Savoy there. I think he's going to get a long look in camp to see if he can play in the top 6.
EST Afternoons, weekday afternoons 1 to 3, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click.
Oh my goodness. That's intense. That's an intense one, isn't it? It's good. Who made that again? Do you remember? A listener. That was listener submitted. Yet another thumb click remix. We might get to 155 for double word of the day. We need 20 more. We did get over 130 to bring in the word of the day. Reid Wilkins, Jason Milne, coming to you from the Banquet Studio. Craving a late night snack? Check out the Banquet's new late night happy hour menu, Sunday to Thursday, 9 p.m. till close. Enjoy favorites like sweet and spicy lettuce wraps or the Banquet burger at happy hour prices. Get real. Play hard. The Banquet. All right. So you were fired up for your daughter being an outstanding sprinter. Do they have to do a drug test in elementary?
No, I don't believe so.
That'd be amazing.
Picking up all the Freezies bags after and taking samples.
Yeah. And you have your flag football finals tomorrow? Or is that next weekend? I always get confused with the weekends.
No, there's 2 games this weekend. So tomorrow we play the Vikings tomorrow morning.
Okay.
And then we play the Bills Sunday morning.
And then it's done, or there's next weekend?
That's it. This is it.
Did you enjoy coaching? Did you enjoy the whole process?
Yeah, it was great. Would do it again.
Somebody in the Nasty Chat was asking you if you coach flag football.
Yeah,
is that one of your players again?
Yeah, probably.
Because we have had a couple of your players in there being like, "Oh, hey, Mr. Milne."
Well, they ask, "Are you a coach?" It's like they don't know that it's me.
No, I think they know it's
Even
you. They
though
just
I was
want
just
you to
with
say
them.
their name.
I don't want to say their name necessarily.
Argos with a touchdown here, still, and the extra point is good. So 7-0. Argos leading Saskatchewan 5 minutes and 5 seconds into the first quarter. We have that on the ESTV here at our global HQ. Stan Bowman, head coach or GM of the Edmonton Oilers, spoke earlier today, and he commented on the head coach, Kris Knoblauch.
I thought Kris did an outstanding job this year. I really enjoyed working with him. First and foremost, I think we have a great camaraderie and collaboration. I think we see the game similarly. Not identical, but very similar. I think he's got it's not easy coaching star players. I think that's, talking to my dad over the years, they can be some of the most challenging guys to coach because they have so much talent, but to be able to connect with them and get them, to be able to play at their best, but the way that you need them to play for the team, I think he did an outstanding job. And I think, I think Kris is going to be the coach here for a while, and I enjoy working with him, and I think we're lucky to have him.
All right. Not most of the questions today were for Bowman. There were a couple for Knoblauch. Somebody asked Knoblauch about the look-alike that surfaced during the playoffs, and news stations did stories on, and Kris joked, said, "Oh yeah, very handsome guy, really, really, really good-looking guy." Knoblauch definitely likes living in Edmonton and coaching the Edmonton Oilers. Bowman commenting on where the changes to the roster are likely going to come.
I think looking at our team, the area with probably the least amount of change will be the defense. I think that we have guys under contract. They played very well. I really liked the way our defense played this season. I think they did a good job. They grew as the season went on. I thought they were really important to where we were getting to the final. So I think there probably won't be big changes there. I think up front we need some different players. And we're going to look at everything, because I think now is the time when you have to look at your forwards, your D, and your goalies, and see how can we get better. And sometimes it's just an incremental difference where I wouldn't expect wholesale changes. We're not going to have 9 or 10 new players, but I do think we are going to have some changes. So we'll have to look at, probably more likely, the forwards and the goalies are the ones we're going to evaluate the most deeply.
Would you bring Klingberg back if he wants to come back? He's a UFA.
No.
I mean,
I just don't see it trending better. I think you got about the best you could.
Yeah. I think you got to look for someone with some beef. Stetcher's under contract. So everybody's under contract for a year, except Klingberg's a UFA. Bush is an RFA. Emberson has 2 years left because he's got the extension, and then Nurse is signed all the way until 2030. Now, Ekholm's status, again, He finished the season. He didn't speak after the season. There were no questions about him today. I wonder if he's healthy for training camp or if this groin issue is going to need some more time into the season. That could affect what Bowman does with the defense. I don't know.
I don't know what's going on here either, but apparently we're making it easier for people to cope with this season being over as Edmonton Sports Talk. I'd like to read a couple texts that have come into the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. Uncle Jesse says, I got to admit, I was pretty down Wednesday. Didn't tune into media, but you guys got me back on the wagon at 3 on Wednesday. Have a great weekend.
That's nice to hear.
Thank you, Uncle Jesse. And CB Radio Guy. Here's to another amazing year being a nasty. Thank you for all the great Oilers season. Listening to you all day long makes my days not so bad. Dusty, LT, you guys are how I start my every day. Be lost without you. Tommy, Maddie, the hangout has changed my life. Engager in the Heat, I love you guys. Reid, I couldn't believe the announcement, and when I heard it was you, I was so stoked. Glue Guy, keep being the glue. Finally, Tommy again, my Oilers game days wouldn't be the same without you. Cass and all the rest of you. I love you guys. Let's have a lager.
That's awesome. That's
Well said.
it's very nice to hear. We do appreciate that. Guy Flaming, our buddy from the Pipeline Show, has written a limerick. Draft next week, no prospect talk. Oil have no picks or youth in stock. Alarm bells ringing. There'll be no winning. Not before the crow of the cock. I know that Guy really liked my crow of the cock quip from a couple days ago.
He did.
He adds this, you could probably get Pittsburgh to eat a ton of Tristan Jarry's salary. Maybe they'd even give Edmonton a pick as a sweetener. He and the Pens had a bad year, but his previous 5 years were solid. A change of scenery might be enough to get him back on track. He's had some ups and downs with the Penguins. Wasn't he sent to the minors for a while? Or waived or something like that? Maybe, but that's the thing. You're getting a new goaltender in here. It'll probably be somebody with some blemishes, but that you're hoping you can have a good tandem. That's how I look at that. All right, let's do, you know what? I want a double word of the day. It's Friday. Why? I got a 4-day weekend because I have Monday, Tuesday off. We're not quite at our total right now, but we might get there after the fact of 155 thumbs. And hey, it would have been Game 7. We're going into the weekend. I still want a double word of the day. I'm calling an audible. Just give me a double.
The word of the day with Reid and Jay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
What do they got to say?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you.
Let's find out.
English, do you speak it? Then you know what I'm saying.
All right.
Okay, first word of the day. Incantation. Incantation.
Incantation.
Say that again.
Incantation. 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 And this is sort of like a chanting or the cat's casting of a spell. Like, you seriously didn't think I would know that?
I said the word of the day was going to be magical.
Oh, I never even thought of that. So it's like Reid and Jay's incantation summoned a vampire to the studio, and they were both devoured. All right, 2 for 2, baby. I'm hot. Going to, maybe I should stop. Maybe I shouldn't have asked for a double. No, I got to stick with it.
Second word of the day, convivial.
Oh, yeah.
Convivial. Convivial.
Say that again?
Convivial.
Well, I think it's an obvious spelling. Convivial. Okay, so con could mean like contrast or opposite or something like that. Vivial makes me think about living, but I don't know if that's right, or maybe it's. I'm gonna say.
You want me to use?
You know what?
I'll
I'll sacrifice the half point and I'll get the sentence because I'm confident in myself. Ryder's touchdown, by the way, AJ Ouellette. How about that? How about that, everybody? I'm doing the word of the day and I'm updating the game in real time.
What can't you?
Is there a more talented broadcaster? Probably many.
A convivial atmosphere filled the gallery with good food in abundance and wine and conversation both flowing freely.
Okay, so
convivial atmosphere.
So this is like the joy. It's something to do with like the joy of life. Like it's an upbeat Could you do the sentence again?
A convivial atmosphere filled the gallery with good food in abundance and wine and conversation both flowing freely.
I'm going to say it's an upbeat social atmosphere.
Involving
a lot of people.
And?
Food and drink.
Convivial means relating to, occupied with, or fond of feasting, drinking, and good company.
So I didn't quite... I think I should only get a quarter for that.
2.37.
So 3.37. 3.37. I got both spellings and incantation.
Yeah, that's right.
So
3.37.
Yeah, I kind of had a good sense of it, but I didn't get it specific enough for the definition. Okay. Have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy the summer solstice. Hopefully the weather's pretty good. You can get out and enjoy whatever it is you like to enjoy. Maybe I'll read the Dresden Files, the first book of that. That'll be fun.
Take it easy on that eye.
So I'm off Monday, Tuesday. I have an eye appointment Tuesday. I've never been more excited for a medical appointment because I hope it's good news. On behalf of Zachary Kubish and the glue guy, Jason Milne, I'm Reid. Thanks for checking out the show.